So coming back for more, just figured I would play a little bit of Monster Train to enjoy the night. So I'm just live streaming to YouTube and Twitch again. We've been setting up to do a secondary account. You may have had that, or may have noticed, may have been involved from before. We're setting up to do a secondary account so that way I can just kind of relax, play whatever games I want, just have fun. So that's what we're doing right now, having a little bit of enjoyment. Welcome, if you're here. Happy to have you. Thank you. All right, we're gonna start up. Got a little Monster Train happening over here. We've got the chat, which I'm gonna pull up. I couldn't quite figure out what was causing the issue with Restream to not be able to send chat to multiple channels. For whatever reason, I don't see it. Like, I don't see what's causing the problem, because it should automatically send from one channel to the next and do chat relay, literally naturally. But for whatever reason, it's not working. So I might try and log into Restream real quick here and see if it'll fix it again. But for whatever reason, it's not working. I apologize to anyone who may be watching and seeing that is happening. Settings. Yeah, I'm not sure. It should be rolling over. Live studio, RTMP settings. No, I don't want that. Yeah, it should just be that it's sending over content. I don't know what's causing the issue. I apologize, guys. You think about leaving Twitch? No, not at all. I don't think many bots like YouTube. Yeah. Troy, Jackie, we are not. I have made a separate account for Twitch called Ham After Dark, so I could start producing more YouTube content, and I can play whatever I want. So I don't have to worry about like playing into a category and they're only having like 5 viewers. Whereas, like, let's say I started playing like retro games like 1984 or, whatever random number I threw out there, like a game from Sega Genesis. I can't really play that and have, a highly successful stream. In likelihood, I might get like one diehard fan, and they're going to show up and they're there. They like being there. They like watching the game. They've been a fan of the game for a long time, but it can make it sometimes a little bit more taxing to try and consistently build an audience around that, build a community around that, because they're really only there for the game. They're diehard fans of the game. They're not necessarily there for you. And so Smurf and I were talking about it, and Scape and I were talking about it last night or 2 nights ago in Discord. And actually, it was last night. I apologize. And he was like, you should just make another account. You should make another Twitch account, and the people who are there, they'll show up. And if you grow, you grow. And if you don't, then you don't, and that's fine. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty smart idea, because then I can just use my primary account to do what I normally do. And I can, play specific games and play community games and do what I normally do. But I can just have nice, relaxing streams here. So, like, I can still focus on interacting. I can still focus on talking with people. But I can just be here and just have fun. Whatever I want to play. Whatever I feel like playing. I don't have that threat. I don't have to worry about, like, I have to do this, And so it just makes it so much easier. It's just so much easier. All right, so I'm gonna do the Scorpion Lady over a melting run to see if I can get further into Covenant ranks. I think it'll be a pretty solid way for me to get a little further. I don't know like a ton about running these. I'm not too far into it. I'm on the Xbox now. On the PC, I think I'm Covenant rank 17, 18, I want to say. I'm not positive. I've yet to get all the way up to 25. I know Smurf has watched and played himself, and he's up to, I believe, Covenant rank 25 on just about everything except for one run that he's completed Covenant rank 25 on, which is awesome, because doing that much is pretty legit. getting into this, I don't know if I want to take Imperialist or Royalty first. I typically like doing Imperialist just as a board clear and then swapping over to Royalty. But then the question is like, do I run the issue that if I go Imperialist, I might lose a Royalty because on the next rotation, I won't get it? It's pretty rare, but I know that I can definitely get Imperious Mark II, which will give me, what is it, like 30 damage per imp, or 25 damage per imp. As long as I can spawn imps continuously, then I don't have to worry about it. And when I'm doing regrow or reform, then again, it makes it much easier because all I have to do is just reform my imps and then throw them back out there, which makes it great because then I don't have to worry about, you know, running out of imps. I just respawn them in over and over and over again, which is pretty fun actually. I like this build. It's kind of like a screw around build, or, you know, just have fun. Because it's like endless destruction, I guess, in a way. It seems like one of the more powerful builds as of right now, but, you know, I'm going to throw out a drag so that way I can soak up a lot of the damage, and then that'll leave my my back queen, my main champion, away from damage, and then we're going to throw up the imp from behind, which will cancel out both of them, so I can just skip right on to the next turn. Alright, and then we can do... We'll throw the drag up on the top. We'll throw a trained steward in the middle, so that way we don't have to think about that. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what it says that... Ah. Can I do update titles without it affecting YouTube? Oh, okay. That's fine. I don't need to mess with that. Did I get a Discord message? Yep, I'm back. I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. All right, so we're going to do, let's see here. Oh, I didn't even realize that happened down there. We'll do this, and then we'll stick the drag up in the front for the damage soak. And I'll stick a trained steward down at the bottom. We'll hold on to the imp so that way I still have the opportunity to cast it over with the next rotation, the next run. That way I don't have to think about that. Scroll back up here. So we're going to take some damage there. I could do this and then pop the horn. So they'll do some damage on that run. And then I could do the horn from the rear, which gives me 45 damage up front. I could probably speed it up just a little bit, you know. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. This is a really, really good idea. Escape had a really smart push. I wish I could just descend him into... Oh, cool. He can't go down lower, but he does get dazed. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we'll do that. And then we're going to stick him up here. So that'll give me another 35 damage. You know, to the boss. We'll just let this one play out. Let's see what happens. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so we're on Covenant rank 4. We're going to take one hit from the boss here as it moves up to the next tier, which will put us down to 73 damage. We'll kill the boss, and we're on Covenant 4, so we don't have a ton of drops in nonsense that we have to deal with. I want to go for armor here, just for that one particular piece, because I need something that's low ammo or low costing. I don't know what the final boss is. Will it tell me? Cleanse all unit effects which don't benefit Seraph. Okay. So that'll be a little bit more taxing, especially if it's going to try and like remove debuffs and things like that. That might be a little bit harder for me to get past, but we're going to see what we can come up with. I'm going to go all the way back up to the top here and then move into the next rotation. So Hellhorn units are good for tanks, and so are Remnants. But the Remnants have a really, really solid opportunity for damage, especially early on. If I can get that one guy, the Stealth Assassin, to where he can increase his damage permanently. Wickless Baron is another really, really solid option, especially with Harvest. And so one of the really, really great things about Wickless Baron is that if I put like a large stone on them, as the imps are getting despawned because of Reform, then the damage that gets pulled off of that will end up raising his attack and raising his HP. So I'm going to end up taking Wickless Baron here because I think that that's the smarter play. We're going to do the magic cast. And then I'm going to drop... We're going to do the double stack on the armor, so it brings it up to 10, and then we're going to reduce the cost right back down on Fortify. And I'm going to increase one of my horn breaks to 15 damage. I might end up getting rid of the horn breaks anyways, but at least I know I've got one 15 damage spot as like an end-all be-all kill. And then I can put an Ember reduction on it later. So Spikes 3. I don't want to do that right now. I don't have a lot of power out of my minions, so that would put me in kind of a really rough position. So I'm going to throw down this. We're going to throw down our Wickless Baron up into the front, and then throw down our Imp in the back. That'll do the damage from the soak, and apply it to all of the characters that we have here. The enemy characters. So there's the 20 damage, and then the attack from the Queen. It's a board clear. So then we have the exact same thing happening here. I'm going to throw down a Dreg. Now I don't have any imps to do what I need to do, so we're going to pop the horn break on that, and then we're going to throw out a Dreg in the rear. The enemies will still die, and we know that we're going to get burnout from the Dreg in the back, so I don't have to worry about that. I can get my space back that I need for imps in case I have imp placement that I can put back out. Now, again, the card that I'm really hunting for is Reform. If I can get Reform, then I can constantly refresh my imp consumption, and then I can throw out imps over and over and over again without any due recourse. So what I want to do is I'm going to put some armor up on my front target. We're going to take this Train Steward, throw them all the way up at the top, just so that way we've got a little bit of a buffer in case we run into some issues. And then I'm going to hold on to my Implings, because if I place them, they're just going to get tossed and deleted. Yeeted and deleted. So I'm just not going to do anything with that. We're going to wait until we get our boss wave. So we've got two of those guys back in the rear. We're going to do the Imp Summon to do the damage, which won't matter. It is sweep, so it screwed it up anyways, but the harvest value is going to get me everything that I need. I'm going to throw just one damage set back in the back just for the purpose of it, and then let's do a daze on the boss so that way we can actually apply the imp damage from toss to the rest of the other people, and then we don't lose our queen either. It should speed up the encounter a little bit to make it a little bit faster for us here. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about Monster Train. It's one of my more favorite games that I've had lately within the past year. I've been loving Cyberpunk. I've been loving Monster Train. PUBG on PC has been a really, really great refresh, and I know Smurf and I have been having a lot of fun doing that. The games are challenging, but it's been enjoyable. I appreciate that. So here's exactly what we needed. So we needed molded for that reform on a unit. And this is really, really important because this will end up giving me that burnout. But when I'm applying that to an imp that I'm already going to toss, then the imp gets swallowed up anyways. The burnout holds no effect, and I'm just recalling them in. So as they progress, the more I have to end up calling them back into the battle, then the more damage, the more health that they have, as well as the continual aspect of constantly throwing out imp toss for that damage value. So I'm going to be applying 20 stacks on bosses, and then I'm going to work on trying to expand my space within the train so that way I have the space to put down more imps in case I have to do 2 to 3 imps in one spot to make sure I'm applying damage to enough people on the floor to get rid of them. So we're going to take over to the right lane. I could go over to the left to do that Merchant of Steel, but I think it's more important that I try and see if I can get one more remnant. there's, I guess, a question. If I wanted to, I could assume that I get something of great benefit over on the left-hand side at Merchant of Steel. And then when I get down to the next set, I take the left lane, get rid of 2 cards, like, for example, my Train Stewards. Since the right-hand side won't hold much value, I still get my card for the Hellhorned. But I can allow myself to duplicate my my one guy that I can't remember the name of right now. What is it? The Wickless Baron. So I think actually I'm going to end up taking the left-hand side. I don't really need all of the health, but what I'm going to do, we're going to go health first. Then we're going to go to the Concealed Caverns in case we get a troop that's actually beneficial or some sort of card that might be necessary that we can take it to upgrade. So I like doing that way. All right. So now Smurf was saying that if we pick like one of the options that doesn't relate to our characters, you're more likely to get more options. But all of these relate to things that I'm not. So we'll do... So Awoken's very tanky and heals. Stygian's very low HP values, but they have things like Sweep and Frostbite. And then Rare Umbra is kind of a mixed bag. They can be really, really beneficial if you're getting Gorges, but we don't have anything that's really helpful to that. So I don't think that that's going to be the best pick. Honestly, the tank from the Awoken would be a good option, but I'd have no heals. And the Stygian Guard's probably my second best one, because then I can apply Sweep, put a large Hellstone on it, or a large stone on it, and still get like some sweeping damage to take out some of the rear, like smaller targets. And I got total garbage. I'm just gonna skip for the gold. I was hoping I was gonna get like a draft pick of a troop, but it's fine. All right, so we're gonna go into the merchant. We've got our large stone, which is perfect. This puts us in a really, really great position for duplicate on the next run. Smurf somewhere going like this, just like we had talked about. Strat worked. So I'm gonna put the Heartstone on the Wickless Baron, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to apply as much health to this pool that I can, so that when I start adding damage and heals, I have a better opportunity to stay alive for a longer period. As long as I'm continually throwing out imps and we're doing damage and targeting, destroying people on the floor, then what ends up happening is that not only am I getting buffed from the imp, but I'm also getting buffed from all the enemies that we're destroying from an imp toss. So it's really, really crucial that I place an imp in the same floor along with the queen with a Wickless Baron, so that I'm getting the buff from that imp and I'm getting the buff from the enemies destroyed, which gives me the higher damage value, the higher HP value from all targets. So I'll end up getting 15 to 20 HP plus attack with every single board clear because of multiple imps and from multiple enemies. It's a really, really great way to just constantly buff your one of your characters. I like this build. It just seems really, really seamless to me. I enjoy it a lot. All right, so we've got Armor 5. Of all of the newer bosses, this is my least favorite. So they added her recently in one of the patches, which happened about a month and a half ago. They added her in along with a lot of the secondary minion classes or the champion classes. And ever since they added her, I really like Shardtail Queen. I was unsure at first until I started to understand the premise. But for whatever reason, I have more issues with this boss than I do any other boss. And last boss, of course, but that goes without saying. All right, so just like we were talking about, putting out Wickless Baron in the front to soak. I'm going to do the piercing attack on this so that we can do damage from there. And then I'm going to take my Train Steward. I'm going to put it up one floor because I know that if I put it up all the way at the top, she's going to damage for 7. I can do a reform on the Dreg so that way if I bring it back and have to bring it back a secondary time, I can place it down on the bottom with the Wickless Baron if I don't have an imp and give him the buff regardless of the fact that I don't have an imp present. He's still getting some sort of secondary buff on something that might even just end up getting attacked and used as a damage soak. So me doing a reform build off of that would be just as beneficial. I do have the large stone, which locks down a little bit in space, but that's okay because of the damage and the health pool value from the queen in the back and the Wickless Baron up in the front, I don't have to worry about it. And I'm about to get my train upgrade so that way I've got more space, like I was talking about. I usually go for 2 when I'm doing this run because I need to have the space, and it's the exact same thing for the Umbra. I tend to get caught up trying to make a lot of space for that. And I know that's pretty common, that you have to deal with that. So I totally understand why. But here, I'm going to do this real fast. What is this? Yep. Yep. Sorry, I was just responding to a message through Discord. I apologize. Thank you guys for your patience. So, I don't want to put down an Impling, but I know I know that I have to. I still have Reform, so I can use that as the buff, and it gets me a 10 damage soak up at the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this down. This will keep my Steward alive in the middle, and do enough damage that I kill my larger target up at the top. And I know the healer, even if they make it all the way up to the top floor and into the den where my crystal is, they're not going to do any damage. So I don't have to worry about that. So we're going to end the turn. So it's kind of backfiring a little bit on that lower floor just because I don't have the space on large stone, and that's usually a minor concern. You know, Queen takes up 2 spots. And then, of course, the Wickless Baron in large stone takes up 3, and it's kind of a play all. Like, can I get enough? Can I get enough damage in? Can I get enough stuff in before everything's all said and done, and get a character back out and in to combat? So it happens. I prefer having the character or my damage early, like having the thing that I can use to soak like Wickless Baron and having a tank early, because I feel more efficient. But I don't know. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to attack the guy in the rear to drop him down, which is the damage dealer. This should offer us enough damage because it's going to keep my dregs alive. They're going to attack the front target, and it again puts the healer all the way up to the top. He'll take a damage buff, which isn't that big of a deal because he's going to die. I'll do 5 damage, to the healer in the back. Even if he makes it up again, no attack from that, so no concern. We're going to end the turn. We've got 3 left until our boss pops in here. The boss is going to do 7 damage down at the bottom, which kind of sucks, but it's not that big of an issue. My Wickless Baron is still doing well, and then pushed it to the back, which is a little bit more of a problem. I mean, if I lose Shard Tail Queen, it's not a huge loss, because my Wickless Baron is my damage dealer. But what I do need to do is start doing something in order to help him get his buffs that he needs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the Piercing on the guy in the rear. It will increase the damage from the second target, because I am doing damage to that, but it buffs my Wickless Baron, which is highly important right now. We're going to take my drag, and I'm going to put him back up at the front so that way he's soaking. I'm going to lose my middle drag because of the boss. And then if I go back up again, I don't have to worry about that. So the one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to descend this target down to the floor so that way I'm buying myself a little bit more time. It'll also free up my drag in the middle so that the damage soak from the first attack happens to the front drag, and then the boss attack happens to the front drag as well, which allows me the damage that I need from my middle drag to attack my one target and then clear second floor. I am going to be a little congested, but I don't have to worry about the boss going in back into the second floor as we rotate back up. So it should be a little bit easier, but we're going to see what happens here. Sometimes I like to play it a little bit more like improv or ad-lib. I don't like to sit there and count up damage values and do this. I just kind of get like a rough idea, like, this is probably going to play out well, and then I just hit the button. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who get like super involved with that, and they want to do everything that they can, but I don't care enough for that. So I'm going to put my drag back up at the front. ASMR Monster Train, I love it. I'm going to put this back up at the front. What we're going to do is, because of the burnout here on my target, I'm going to put the branding right probably on that drag since I am going to get enough damage from these two targets that when they make it to the second floor, I don't have to worry about it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the branding right on that. He'll get the incant, but it allows us enough damage to sustain that attack, along with dealing enough to deal with that front character. I still have that lower damage target back in the back, but even if I have to do it, I'll probably go through, 3 waves. I might have enough to do a horn, drop down that armor value, and then when I get all the way up to the top floor, I'll only have to do 2 attack waves. At most, I'll probably end up losing 6 damage. But what I'm really trying to focus on is everything down at this bottom floor to clear out that as much as possible as the boss starts to drop back down. So we're obviously hit the button, close through everything that we've got here, and go into the next wave. Which, guys, everyone who is showing up, I greatly appreciate you guys taking the time. It's phenomenal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really like doing this. So we've got the boss who's going to end up dead. At this point, Smurf says, don't do anything. You're just going to screw something up. This is how you screw stuff up. So we're going to do a little justice here. We're going to give it the old Smurf 1-2. So it's going to draw it out a little bit, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you boost up the Wickless Baron so much, you can sustain really, really large combat situations. And once I get my room upgrade, I'll be able to start sticking down those imps and then not have to worry about anything. I just have a really large tank with high damage, high heals, and great sustainability against large combat situations. The only thing that you have to minorly think about, which is why I went Hearthstone and Largestone, is at the end when you start to get the multi-strike targets who can do 10 or 12 damage a tick. They might have 3 HP, which is great if you can get like a small, mage clear, do some minor damage across the board, so that way you can wipe them back out. But you have to start worrying about like, hey, how can I get past this? How can I get through the abundance of damage that's coming in? And that's where I like some of the soak ability that comes in from the armor. What I really want to do is get that up to, if I can get a second one or just have a second one in the deck and do a duplication on that, that'll be fine. But I really want to get to a point where I can get a second one of those so I can roll through magic casting on that as much as humanly possible. I think that's important. I could run Paraffin Thug here so that way I'm getting some extra damage into the train and clearing out that middle floor, clearing out the top floor, but also accruing a little bit of extra cash so I can apply for upgrades, do rerolls, apply for more upgrades, and just constantly boost as many targets that I can or as many troops that I have. It's an option. Or I can skip for the 10. So the question is, do I skip for 10 or do I risk Paraffin Thug and then maybe probably get at least 20 somewhere along the way? I'm thinking that we take the Paraffin Thug, even though it will end up bringing us up to 21 cards. I like smaller decks. My maximum is usually about 24 before I start getting concerned about the viability long term, because the synergy and the speed isn't fast enough. You have to worry about how many cards you have to cycle through, which usually takes 5 to 6 turns when you're looking at 24 cards. So it's a little bit riskier to run a high card deck. I like the smaller ones. I know there's an achievement for doing it with 10 cards, and I don't know how, I don't know where. You're basically getting rid of every single card and skipping every single card, and you're relying on the fact that your first build is just excellent, and then removing everything else. But we're going to do just like I was talking about. We're going to use the Unstable Vortex. We're going to get rid of 2 Train Stewards. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get rid of 1 Train Steward, just in case I need a little overflow. And then we're going to get rid of... our Bad Horn Break, because they're the same cost card. We're going to take our duplication. We're going to apply that to our Wickless Baron with the Large Stone. We're going to look at what troop we get. Strike +5. Now, if I can get that plus an upgrade with multi-strike, that makes a really, really solid set, because I could do something like a Heartstone for a +25, so I've got 50 health. And then if I get multi-strike from the store, then every single time I'm attacking, he's up 5 points. So if I can get a multi-strike where he's hitting, 2-3 times within a turn, I end up a lot better off. But I think I'm going to skip and rely on the fact that I'm just running Wickless Barons and wait for something that's a little bit more up my alley for perfection. All right, so this is perfect. I did end up getting my royalty, which lines up with me running the Imperialist. So if I take royalty, I'm guaranteeing that I at least have royalty, and I'm getting the rally. Every single time that I place down an imp, even with reform, I'm getting plus 10 damage, which is another important facet. So I'm probably going to take that and run that along with our Imperialist, and then I can decide whether or not I want to run Royalty 2 or Imperialist 2 to close out the mission. So I'm going to take Royalty, and we're going to drop down for our 4th boss. At the start of the battle, units appear on each floor. What do I have to deal with? 0 damage, 2 over 35s, and the boss at resolve. Okay, we're going to take this. We're going to take this challenge. We're going to see what we can come up with. All right, so first one. That puts me at 6. So we're going to do this. And then I'm going to put him in the rear, which allows us to get rid of 2. And then we're going to go down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a Wickless Baron up front because of all the reforms. That'll get rid of them. And when I get to that 3rd floor, that'll help a lot. So we're going to put the Wickless Baron up at the front. I'm going to put the Shardtail Queen in the rear. I can get some really solid damage in on that first target. We're going to get a lot of buffs to the Baron up on the top floor because we're essentially doing damage to all 3 of those targets. Now, what I need to rely on is that when I move up to the next set, I'm going to end up with a lot of damage done to the Wickless Baron because I'm going to end up having to kill one of the 4 targets from floor 2 in order to make way for floor 1. In order to make way so that way I don't get all 4 to pop up, because with all 4 of those guys getting buffed, that's going to put a pretty serious damper on things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off the branding right on one of the targets. It buffs them up to 4. I'm going to lose out on the little gold angel because I don't have space. I don't have the damage to get through. I only have the 3 targets. I don't have anything with multi-strike, and I don't have any other casting I can do. We're going to go down here. I'm going to put Fortify on Wickless Baron so I don't have to deal with that. And then I'm going to stick the Imp down so that way I'm clearing out both of my original targets because of the rally, the Wickless Baron damage, and then the Imp Toss to deal damage to both of the targets. So then they'll end up dying. Now all I have to do is worry about the 2nd floor. But between my Paraffin Thug and my Wickless Baron, I shouldn't have to deal with that because I might get a reform on a Dreg. But we're going to see what happens. So we did end up making the money back that we were talking about from Paraffin Thug, which is perfect. I miss out on about 75 gold from Resolve on the little angel. So let's see here. We're going to go all the way back up to the top, and I'm going to put down... We're going to put down the piercing on that, so we're dealing the damage. I'm going to put a Train Steward on the middle floor just to get it. We're going to go all the way back down to the bottom. We're going to put down the Imp. That'll deal 20 damage to, our rear targets, which only leaves 15 HP from both of our back ones. Even if they make it all the way up to the top floor, our Wickless Baron has enough HP, and our Paraffin Thug will end up getting the Slay bonus. So we're going to let him right on through. So Wickless Baron's just soaking it up there. I could give him a little bit of an armor for a buff just as a threshold or a buffer in case I have to deal with anything as he gets up to the top floor. If we have any guys that make it that far, it can be a little much. As of right now, as you can see, we've got the 2 guys because of their resolve from, constantly staying alive through battle, that they get a +3 attack for every single time that they resolve through combat. So there'll be 8 damage on the next one, which means I'm doing 16 to my Wickless Baron, dropping him all the way down to 60 HP. What I really want to do is put him in the position to succeed. But unfortunately, I need to make sure I'm doing enough damage with an Imp to the rest of the bottom floor to make that happen. Rally's going to help me out here because the call-in for Getting Imp Toss is going to buff Wickless Baron. I'm going to get the damage that I need to kill out the first one, as well as Shardtail Queen's going to kill the second one, leaving only 15 damage to our last target. I'm going to put the Dregs here on the middle floor to deal enough damage to kill the first one, so I'm only getting 8 to our target. And actually, even more toxically, I can drop down the rear guy to the bottom floor, and the Imp Toss will end up killing him, leaving only one target back up to the top. We've got 2 turns left. We've got our one guy making it to the second floor. He'll end up getting rid of our Train Steward, which we don't care about. Our rear Dregs end up killing the guy in the middle floor. Gives us plenty of space here in the back. We're going to see if we can reform anything. I'm going to do a reform on one of our Queen's Implings just to get the rally bonus. So that way she gets the buff. That'll give me a harvest bonus to the Wickless Baron, so I'm not wasting my turn because I have an opportunity to buff one of my targets. I'm also going to use this chance, since we are getting a buff, to apply the 5 damage with piercing, but add on 20 damage, or sorry, 20 armor through Branding Right. Then it brings in our boss, and we should have a really easy clear on this boss. Perfect. Just what I like to see. Only 43 damage going out to the boss. Just to be really nasty, we're going to do this. Get dazed on. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself, and that's what Smurf kind of was talking about in you having to deal with extra things. And sometimes instead of just hitting the button, you want to try and apply a spell or do this or add an extra minion or do whatever. And, you know, if an enemy troop has something like a rally boost or something like that, where every time you're placing a minion, they get a buff, that can actually put you in a position to fail, because then you don't have a buffer. You don't have any fallback plan. You don't have an escape. And so it's a little rough. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to get Imp in a box. That allows me to get an emergency 2 imps just in case if I happen to have the card on hand. We're going to skip this one. Memento Mori is pretty nice, but it's not so much so that I'm absolutely thriving or needing for it. So yeah, I could go over to Merchant of Magic to see if I can get that loop, because we have quite a bit of gold after that last run, plus our Paraffin Thug payouts. But I don't need the money. Magic's kind of and the money's kind of I still want to do something with being able to get more cards, so we're going to get rid of some Vortex nonsense. I'm going to get rid of 1 Dreg and 1 Steward. We're going to go into the caverns to see if we get anything good that's worth a duplication. Always doing those first is very important, because you never know what you're going to get from one of these caverns. And so you could get something like, you know, Dante, who's, you know, our multi-strike target with the blight cards. And so if you can dupe him, you're getting, you know, a minion who could have upwards of 8 to 9 attacks in the course of an action. And then if you can dupe him, you've got 2 of those. You stick 2 of those on a floor behind some tanks, and you're tearing face. You do it with Harvest, game over. I know Smurf really likes the Steel Pulley Claw because of the damage that you can get from your Pyrestone. You know, it does 30 damage, and if you can apply 3 days to it, bringing it up all the way to the top, essentially you can do a 90 damage attack on a consume. It is a 2-cost card. Even if you put the application for lower Ember cost, it's nice, but I prefer the doors because I'm focusing on that imp rotation. If I can drop a person back down to the bottom floor, I can do some mass damage back on them. And I'm always focusing on getting those guys down to the bottom floor. However, some of the bosses can end up putting out some effects that create you to have to focus on mid, have to focus on top tier, to make sure that, you know, the first wave that comes in just absolutely wrecks them. You didn't get the right cards, you know, whatever it may be. You just have to line it up. I am whispering, quote unquote, because my girlfriend's asleep, and I'm more relaxed here when I'm doing it in this particular stream, so I don't have to be loud and obnoxious and yelling and screaming. I'm just having fun, just having a little fun. ASMR Monster Train. coming to you live from the vault. We'll drop it nice and low. We're going to bring only the hottest implings and the greatest attacks in chain directly to you. So basically I have about 5. Most important values here is probably reduping molded, because that's going to give me the opportunity to constantly bring imps back into combat. And when I get my second capacity upgrade, I'll be able to put down 2 imps on the bottom floor, which will be a 40 damage attack to everyone that's on the floor, as well as a double rally bonus for 10 HP, or sorry, 10 attack. A modern Bob Ross of cards. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine? Imagine if I did this with Tarkov. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk right over here, and I'm going to pick up the key from our enemy Russian guy who happens to be dead on the floor. You can find him spawned in one of 3 separate locations, and that key is absolutely necessary to helping you along your tasks here so that you can get the cases that you need, build up your inventory, and succeed in the world of Tarkov. This is just step 1 in a many-part journey here in the vault with the modern Bob Ross. Just having fun. Just having fun with it. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put him on the soak up front because I screwed that up. I screwed it up. I didn't get my rally bonus that I needed. So I'm just going to restart that real quick. That was my bad. That was my bad. So what I'm going to do, put the Shardtail Queen down first because, we want that rally bonus. And I'm going to put the Paraffin Thug up in the front. Molded doesn't perform anything for us because we're not getting what we need. I'm going to drop a Dazed on the rear target just so I'm not taking 5 damage. The Paraffin Thug's going to be my soak up at the front. His attack's going to give me 20 gold just from attacking that front target. The Shardtail Queen's going to do the damage that she needs to the guy in the rear. But we're getting the boost from our first guy dying. So, end the turn. We'll probably see one of our Wickless Barons. We only have 16 cards that, haven't been pulled. It's pretty likely we'll see one. Because I said it, I was going to be like, well, I'm not going to see one now. So we're going to drop back down here. We're going to lose our first target, but we have the opportunity to do some massive damage here, which is exactly what we want to do. We're getting the rally bonus and the double imp toss from our target. We're going to do this for the Daze and the drop down, who get the boost from our one target dying, and he gets the buff from that. However, we're getting imp toss to him, so we're getting some pretty good damage out, which is not that big of an issue. And he has Daze too, so even when he moves up to the next level, we still get some time in. But very importantly, I'm buying myself time for another Wickless Baron, as well as offering myself the opportunity to get the damage boost and the gold boost from that little angel person that popped up onto the second floor. So we've got a lot of armor that popped off from that one little set, but again, it bought me the time that I needed to get my Wickless Baron out. We're going to get another imp toss in, and then for the purpose, I'm going to put a Train Steward up at the top so that way I'm soaking the damage from that. Our second guy's still dazed. We're going to get a little bit of damage out there, but I'm probably going to lose that rear guy all the way up to the top floor. But that's not a problem. We can get our health back from that, no issues. So we've got the imp toss that did some solid work. Obviously, our harvest is really, really causing us some challenges here because of the damage value. So this is kind of what I was talking about, is that if you're not playing it super right, you end up placing a troop down right at the end, and you actually end up losing because you're so caught up in just wanting to do an extra play or be cool or whatever, that you end up losing the opportunity. So what we're going to do here is... we're going to do the Train Steward here, and then I'm going to throw out the Dreg. Oh, because of the harvest. Right. See, this is where I screwed it up. So what ended up happening there, just to explain, is I put out the Train Steward, but because I'm getting attacked from both the front and the rear minions, or the enemies, that's 12 damage. My Train Steward dies, so he gains 10 armor. my drag attacks, and he ends up gaining +1 in total value because of the 1 armor that he gains. So what I could do is stick the armor on him, which means my front enemy wouldn't die, which is probably the smarter play here. So then I only have 1 enemy making it up to the top. If I put him down a floor, then he ends up gaining armor along with the middle target, which I don't want to do. We're going to drop down to, actually, I'm going to pop this up on the top just to make sure I don't have any in-camp bonuses or anything like that. We're going to scroll all the way back down to the bottom. We're going to give Rage out to them to make sure that they're getting the space. We're going to give Rage out to these guys to make sure he's getting some extra damage in there. Then we're going to have a turn. We're going to have 1 guy go up to the top or 30 damage ticks, so it should be about 4 waves. About 3 waves for us to kill that rear target. So we're losing a little bit of that harvest like we were talking about. He gains another 10 on the harvest. And so we're losing 10 from him that we apply, 10 from his 2 buddies, or 10 apiece from his 2 buddies for a total of 30 armor back up on top of that minion. So we're getting some pretty solid hits in from these guys that are causing us a little bit of a dilemma in damage. And that's where we're running into a lot of our problem. I'm going to put down a drag for the rally bonus and put him up front as a damage soak. The harvest will end up helping the Wickless Baron, and the rally bonus helps our queen. For the purpose, I'm going to put the armor on the Wickless Baron. I may have to worry about sweep, but it's not a super big concern. We've still got a lot of opportunity and damage and harvest and everything like that. So it's not that big of an issue. I don't want to pop harvest on that, because if I do, then that means... So what I was thinking is I was actually going to damage the imp, and then what would that would allow me to do is actually pull the imp back so that I could reuse it down on the bottom floor. But it's not that big of a concern. We want to leave that out for the damage soak. I could put it up on the top floor just as a hit. It might get me a little bit closer to being able to just only being 1 attack, because that would have been over top of the value of 2 attacks. So that puts me within the range of 2 damage swipes from my crystal instead of just 3 damage swipes from the crystal. So that's probably the smarter bet here. I could do this to give me a little bit of a buffer zone on the 2nd floor in case we have to deal with the boss making it up 1 extra floor. And we still have the potential of Reform to pull Sharktail Queen with all of her buffs active back into the fight if we get molded. So we get 10 damage from the minion. He makes it up to the 3rd floor. Okay, so sweep. He's going to kill everything here. What we're actually going to do is apply Dazed. And Dazed again, which allows us to kill our boss without letting the guy from the top floor make it all the way up to the shard room. Because they always give priority to the boss and finalize the boss before they let a minion move up to the next floor. So we're preventing the damage that makes it to the top floor and managing to kill the boss before losing that to the top floor spot. So then we're all clear. Now we just have to wait it out. Done and done. Boss is dead. So we got the 3-floor rush there, which is perfect. Get a little extra bonus points. Smurf and I were actually doing some testing with that, and we found out that it doesn't matter what Covenant rank you play on, but doing all of your rushes, doing all of the bonus challenges, doing all of that, and getting all of your rushes on the bottom floors, like, you know, from your bosses, pretty much just put you in the same category. So it doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing on. If you're playing on Covenant rank 5 or you're playing on Covenant rank 1, it just pretty much sticks you to the point where you're at max bonus points, you know? So if anyone's ever out there trying to do a bonus point run, ending up with some events that would give you more gold, getting some specific cards that would allow you to get more artifacts or more gold, that can give you, like, you know, way past max points where you might have 1,000 gold at the end or 1,500 gold at the end or something like that. But, you know, it's whatever. I'm going to do the Pyre Chomper here because we want more imps. The more imps that we have, the better. I'm also going to pick up Wicked Blaze as a tertiary reform just in case we need it. I do want to start looking at trimming my deck back down. I have the merchant upgrades, removing cards, and the cavern. I'm actually going to take the left-hand side here. I know they have the vent, so that way I can remove 2 cards with the Unstable Vortex, and then I can go to the Merchant of Trinkets, but I'm not really focused heavily on the artifacts. They don't tend to help me too much. So we're going to stop over here. We're going to refresh our health, go up to the gold real fast, then visit the Merchant of Steel. Kind of a bad loadout here. Kind of a really bad loadout here. I can improve a drag, and then that way on respawn, he's got more damage as he's coming back into combat, because then he'll be like, 34 over 9 or whatever, or 34 over 8, whatever it is. But I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I don't have a purpose for quick. I'm going to re-roll those. Since I have the money that I do, I'm just going to re-roll and then not worry about it. We're going to get rid of one of our stewards. I might as well put the damage on one of them. Why not? But I don't care about rage. I don't care about quick. It's just a waste of money. So this is what I need. Now, here's where it's interesting. Smurf and I have had a debate before about whether or not Endless actually ends up affecting your bonuses. Because Endless, what ends up happening from what I remember is that it puts it back into your deck as if it were a brand new card. And so I made the point that once it's back in the deck as a brand new card, all of everything that you have earned up until that point disappears. So if I'm doing reforms on a target, or if I buff a target like my Wickless Baron as an example, I don't have to deal with burnout, but I don't keep my bonuses that I had while I was in combat. So I'm not going to take Endless. I haven't done testing on it to back that up, but I remember having the discussion with him about it and whether or not it was in fact working. Here's a Paraffin Thug bonus that I was talking about, so we're going to add that. And then for the purpose of the gold, we're also going to add the attack to the Paraffin Thug. A reform will just make it to the point where it's just obnoxious. One thing I am going to do, though, is I'm going to put Endless on my Chomper, so every single time that I'm tossing that out, I can put that on the bottom floor with the Queen. I'll gain 4 energy, or 4 Ember, right out of the gate. The Queen swallows it, does damage to the entire floor. I get it right back. So basically, it's the exact same thing as a holdover card, but on Endless Supply. So we're going to do that. I'm going to leave this little area. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to get rid of my other Train Steward, because I don't care about that. We're going to trim that deck size down. We want those reforms and stuff like that as much as possible. So we're going to back out. We're going to go on to the next boss fight, which is number 6. So we just have 3 more fights here in Covenant Wave 4. As we enter in. Oop, there we go. Okay. Alright, so we're going to drop that down. I don't really have what I need, which is bad. It's a big bad. That's okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to throw it on my Wickless Baron and my Sharktail Queen up at the front. We're going to work on trying to get rid of these Alabaster, statues, to make sure that we've got our floors cleared and we can start working on that. I still have the opportunity to play out my Paraffin Thug up at the top floor, which I'm probably going to run, but I'm waiting for my secondary Wickless Baron to stick in the middle floor. As soon as I can get rid of these statues, I'll be a lot better off, but we got to get rid of those so that way we can get rid of these reserve holdover cards. Those are really, really imperative. So this will help us a little bit. What we're going to do is I'm going to go to the top floor to get rid of this one, just in case we have any guys that have an incant bonus. We're going to throw down our first Impling. I'm going to take the Baron and stick him on the second floor, so that way we're getting some damage in. We know that we're going to clear out the total bottom with bonuses to the Wickless Baron from the 3 kills plus the Imp. So that's going to swallow up. But it'll free up that first floor. Now we don't have to worry about that. So we can move on to the next step. I'm might end up getting those guys to go up to the top floor. We knew we do have that one holdover card. The Weight of Contrition. Ooh, this is bad. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back up to the top. We're going to get rid of both of these cards since I know I only have the Purge from this one. We're going to scroll all the way back down to the bottom. I'm going to place... I'm going to place the Dreg here up at the front to soak, which will give the Wickless Baron a little bit of a buff. We're going to scroll back up here. Do I want to do that, though? I'm going to hold on to the Trap Shoot. So even though, like, the situation is here, we're going to lose those two guys that are going to go up to the top. So I'm going to take 7 damage from that and have to deal with one of those holdover cards. I'm actually going to have to deal with 2 of them because our middle guy's going to pop one. I don't have the opportunity to get rid of the middle card with any damage, and I don't have the imp that does that like AoE damage, which I really do want to try and get. I know I had the first draw for it back at the beginning, but there were more important cards to me, so I just didn't grab it. We take a little bit of damage to our Pyre, no big deal. So now we really need an imp. So we're going to pop that for the Consume. I'm going to go all the way up to the top floor to make sure we're getting the Weight of Contritions again without worrying about any casting, just in case. I'm going to pop the imp in the box, go all the way back down to the bottom. We're going to throw our imps back in the rear. Or the one imp back in the rear, which will get rid of one of our guys. We're going to put the double stack on that, just to make sure that we've got armor as a soak. And we're going to end up moving up the floor. So we'll have 1 gain of Weight of Contrition there. But the whole bottom floor will be more or less taken care of, which is good. It's a really good place to be in. So we're going to get a little bit more damage to our Pyre. I don't have a lot of casting either. I have a lot of like tanky damage, which is I like. I tend to gravitate a little bit more towards that as a focus. But, you know, little things. Personal preferences and play styles. So what I'm going to do here is we're actually going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to take the Pyre Chomper, which is my Endless, which puts me in a really great position fighting these penances. So I'm going to put that down, which is going to help me to do some damage relaying across all these troops. This will give me the energy that I need to play out these cards. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Wicked Blaze. I'm going to pop that out. I'm going to get my Dreg from that value. And then we're going to cast the Dreg here, which will help me eliminate the front target. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. I don't think I want to do a molding holdover because my cards that I have in Consume are just the Impling and the Welder. What I could do is if I cast that, then it gives me the opportunity to reform one of my imps. I can put it on the second floor to give my Wickless Baron a buff for the damage since I know he's just going to decay anyways, and get a little bit of extra damage out towards that rear target, but do like, you know, the damage to the front one. So if I did this, let me show you what I'm talking about. I could do the Queen's Impling, which means that I would do 10 damage to the front Alabaster statue, the drag attack for the 20 damage plus the Wickless Baron, and the attack from the Queen's Impling, which would be 6/6. So I mean, I could do a little bit more damage to that middle target, or I can do a cascade so that way I'm spreading out some of the attack. I know if all 3 of them are going to make it up anyways, then it's not that much of an issue. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to do the molded. I'm going to do the Impling. I'm going to drop that down. We're going to keep the drag from having an attack just in case we need to soak for the next round. I'm going to put that up. That'll kill our front target and allow us 55 damage to the rear, which puts us down to 20. Even if that guy makes it all the way up to the top floor, then there's only 1 attack that they're getting off. So we're going to play off that. We've got the middle guy going up to the second floor, and our bottom 2 targets getting soaked up from our Pyre Chomper. But we do get the Pyre Chomper on the next round because of the Endless. So we're going to spawn that in, and in case we have to deal with any contrition or weights, then we've got enough energy to handle that and control that situation. So we're down to 80 HP on the Pyre. Not too bad. Definitely taking more than what I prefer. So we're going to go back down here. We're going to throw down the Pyre Chomper. We get the boost to Rally. We're going to get rid of the Weight of Contrition. I'm going to scroll back up to the top here. We're going to stick down our Dreg. We're going to do a Molded Reform. And then a Queen Impling. I'm going to stick my regular Impling here at the front so that way I get the Soak, the Dreg's fine, and we get the boost from the Harvest. I'm going to put the Queen Impling down so that way I get a little bit more damage to the top, and we're getting some damage from Impling and the Dreg on that Alabaster statue. So we're definitely going to lose that second one, that rear troop up to the top, but it'll only be one attack. We're going to take 5 to bring us down to 75. We're losing all the troops down at the bottom because of the buff to the Wickless Baron and the damage that we're going to deal with the front target, plus the Imp Toss and the Shardtail Queen getting her boost. So we're going to end the turn there. We've only got 2 turns left until the boss spawns in, but we've got really, really good values coming out of the bottom floor. Again, this is more of a heavy focus on how can I build the sustenance or the sustainability through sustenance early, so when a boss arrives or shows up, I'm prepared for the engagement, I'm prepared for the interaction. Instead of worrying about, okay, can I make it? Do I have enough speed? That kind of a thing. And then fighting your way through all 3 floors. I like to front load all of my floor. All right, so we're going to throw down our Pyre Chomper just in case we get our health back, or our energy back. So we're going to lose both of them on that floor. I'm going to do a Piercing on the Horn for that so that we can deal with that character. Where does this guy come in? So we'll stick him in the front so that way we can get the gold value back in case we have to buy anything from the store for upgrades. We're going to scroll back down. I'm going to put armor on our front target. And then we're going to close out. This should put us in the last boss. And then we're square to go. Alright, so we're going to throw down the Pyre Chomper. That's going to take care of that, which puts us 1,000 damage, not quite where we need to be. I'm going to put Dripfall on the boss, followed by a secondary Dripfall on the boss, which means we close out with a swift finish on a boss rush 3. Alright, so we've got that. I'm going to skip over this because I don't need it. Devour of Death is helpful, but not enough that it really matters that much. The Formless Child is nice, but the energy cost is a little high for my taste. Unless I've got that, Pyre Chomper, but I have to rely on that card, which I only have one of over a 20 card deck. And I don't want to put myself in that position to care about that because I basically have to go through 4 draws in order to find the card that I need. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, of course, I want the enhancement of more placement for troops because it's important and imperative that I'm putting down as many imps as possible. We've got Gold, the Merchant, and Caverns on the right-hand side, or Health, Merchant of Steel, Artifact, and the Champion. Now, looking at our deck, I could do some reductions to Molded so that way I don't have to worry about the cost of those cards and I can cast them without any additional expenses. But it's not absolutely essential. The other thing that I have to think about is the health needed? Is it required? What's more valuable to me? The artifacts are hit or miss. So on the left-hand side, I've got my health back, which is, I'm at 105. I've played closer calls than that at higher difficulties. And then the Merchant of Steel, which I have most of my upgrades that I need, along with an artifact that's hit or miss. Or Gold, which is useless to me. The Concealed Caverns, which may net me a card that's beneficial. And the Merchant of Magic, so that way I can reduce the cost of my Molded. Sounds like we're going to go to the right-hand side. So we're going to do that. Pop our Gold. Pop our Caverns, just in case, again, we get any card that's valuable before we go to the Merchant. We got a railway spike. But they're both purges. And I'm doubting I'm going to get the time for one of those flower cards or the artifacts before we get to the end, since we're literally on wave 7. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to pick up the rail spike. We're going to go to the merchant. We're going to reduce the cost of our reforms, just like we were talking about. I'm going to do a reroll to get my Emberstone yet again. Put it on my other molded card, reducing the card down to 0. And then we're going to get rid of the cost on Imp in a Box. It'll go up 1, but we keep it in our deck instead of it being consumed. Again, very essential, because the idea is with our reform, we have the choice of choosing what we want. But that consume card, normally I'd only be able to get those 2 imps. And so the value of that is if I can cast it more than once in a battle, those imps that are spawning in and I'm placing with the queen or elsewhere to soak up damage or whatever, end up in my discard pile. If they end up in my discard pile, I can call whatever imp I need. So if it's, you know, an AoE, if it's an armor, if it's, you know, another Pyre Chomper, so I can put down 8 energy right out of the gate, you know, on a turn, because I know that I've got a lot that I've got to deal with and I've got the cards to back it up. There are some benefits there to running that. So we're going to run off of that. And then we're going to leave. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back in and see if there's any one more card that I could purge and get rid of. I'm thinking about Branding Right, or maybe getting rid of my weaker Dreg. But having a respawn, I don't have a lot of cards for damage. I only basically have my 2 tanks and my queen, and then the Paraffin Thug, so I don't have a lot of troops. I don't have a lot of anything, really. Like, I'm basically just working off of, can I kill him in a front load on the bottom floor? If anything spawns anywhere else, I'm screwed. Which is a bad strat, but it's working. So, is it bad? It's not too bad. It's okay. It's mediocre. It's terrible. The drip falls are useful for the days. I want to hold on to those. Alright, we're going to skip it. We're going to get our upgrade. And we're going to move on to the boss fight. So then this is where it gets a little bit more challenging. The rally, to me, I think is a little bit more beneficial. Even though I don't have a multi-strike, I don't get nearly as much health. I'm still getting the rally bonus that I want, which is originally 10, but would jump up to 15 for every troop that I'm placing. But I get more AoE damage if I do Imperialist 2. And so I've done it both ways. I've won both with Imperialist 2 or with Royalty 2. It's a question. It's a trade-off. I usually like running both. Just because I'm constantly spawning in imps, which is the entire purpose of the character. But I don't know what would be more beneficial. I'm thinking, since I don't have a ton of troops, AoE is really important to me. Running the rally is helpful, but I can only ever get in 2 attacks off the basis that I have a Wickless Baron and the Shardtail Queen on the bottom floor. So I need to be doing more damage. But we're going to go with Imperialist 2 instead of Royalty 2. We're going to swap on down to the bottom. I do not want to take that challenge for Spell Shield for 400 gold. I already have an abundance of gold that I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do with. I did it again, where I put down a troop and not know what I'm doing or care what I'm doing. So I'm going to start, you know, spawn back in. I'm going to put down the Shardtail Queen like I'm supposed to, then put down the Wickless Baron like I'm supposed to. And then we're going to take one of these guys and we're going to daze them back in the back. Actually, you know what? Why not just kill him? Why not just kill him? Get the buff now. Get the HP buff now and the damage buff now. And I'll worry about them later. I can do another piercing attack or whatever, Branding Right or a horn or whatever. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of damage going on here. We're going to do the Wickless Baron on the second floor. We're going to do the Paraffin Thug in the rear so we can get 50 damage out. We're going to put the Impling in the back so that way we're killing the minion in the rear. We're doing a whole lot of damage up in the front. We're getting the rally bonus and the build over. We might end up having to do a reform on one of our Wickless Barons on that bottom floor, but we're going to see what happens here. I'm really worried about that rear troop on the second floor making it all the way up to the top because he's a 2x10, or a 10x2, I should say. You know, either way, same damage. 2x10, 10x2. All right, so let's see here. We're going to lose our Wickless Baron. So we're going to throw down one Impling, which drops that down. It keeps our Baron alive and does the damage that we need. It's going to kill our guy in the rear with 112 damage to the target up at the front. We're going to lose the tank in that set. We're going to drop our Daze target all the way down. And our guy right there, he's going to end up doing 16 damage to our Pyre. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to do this to do the excess. Drop down some of the damage. And get an added bonus to the Wickless Baron so that he can get some of his health back. We're going to pop the random 2 imps. Oh, well. Oh, well. I thought they were 0 cost cards, but no big deal. Oh, it's because the value of the card that I have went from a 0 cost card to a 1 cost card because I got rid of Consume. That's what it was. Not a big deal. So we're going to kill that target. Our other guy goes up to the top floor. He's got 100 HP. Not that big of an issue. We're going to throw our Pyre Chomper in the rear. We're going to get a double stack up here. And 40 damage. I'm not going to be able to block that. So I'm going to stick the Dreg in the middle so that way I don't have to think about that. And then we're going to descend and daze one of the front or the rear targets so that he's not doing anything there. We're going to do some damage up to the top. Still 3 attack. I mean, I probably could have gotten rid of one of the guys in the back, but again, not that big of an issue. Even if I would have done that, I guess I would have saved my Baron. But I really want the reform, to be honest, because it'll put him back up to full HP, and I can reform him multiple times. And it gives me the time to get rid of the debuff for him dying over and over and over again, burnout. So it'll give me the time that I need to get that back up and taken care of. So let's see what we got. We're gonna pop over Pyre Chomper, so that way we have the extra energy that we need. Pop up Wicked Blaze, pull back our Baron in. Drop the Baron up at the front. Cast the armor on the Queen, just in case we need that. We're gonna do damage to that. And then I'm going to stick this Dreg, since he's useless anyways, up at the front. He can damage soak if needed, but he's definitely going to help buff our Wickless Baron that's on the middle floor. And we're going to pretty much take care of that. So we get just a little bit of a respite. A brief respite. Spurs bite. You know what? Screw you. You're going down. We're getting some rally bonus. We're getting some extra bonus. We're getting some rally, double rally bonus. We're getting a Rally's hamburger out here. And I think this strategy works pretty well for a lot of people. I think you could really make some stuff happen, you know, if you wanted to. All right, so we're going to throw that out. We're going to throw this out to do the damage to the guy in the rear, which will buy us a little bit of time. Then we're going to apply Dazed to the guy in the front, so that way also he sucks. And we're going to pop the Dreg out. Throw him up at the front row. And do this. Alright, so we really need the space there. We're going to do this. We're going to pop that out. Do a little dazed action. Do a little ragey rage action. Now, trample's going to go right through, so is it a question of, like, is this important? Does this matter? Does this matter? No. So this is endless. I don't have the space to throw them out, but I'm going to end up losing that Pyre Chomper. Not that big of an issue. Okay, so we need to do Wicked Blaze. We're going to do... For the purpose, this is actually probably beneficial just for the damage. I don't know what the burnout times 2. So I don't have the space to stick a Wickless Baron. But I know I need more damage right now. And I know I can get multiple attacks off if I do a reform on this drag. So we're actually going to do that. Which kills the unit. Perfect. We managed to do all of that boss without losing. It was a good little save there. Good little save.
Woohoo.
So we finish out that boss. And then we work towards the last one here. Nice save. Reform 2 random units on a 0 consume. We're going to pick up Sacred Wicks just for the purpose of having it as a savior card in the back pocket. Now, the other thing I want to do is I'm probably going to dupe a Wickless Baron. Because I need a third card as a stop ball up at the top. And I can worry about doing multiple reforms up there. So we're going to do that. We're going to go into the Magic Den of Magic. A real place. Don't ask questions. It's a real place. We're going to do reroll. Because I don't like the other ones that I had. We're going to reduce the cost of Wicked Blaze. And I don't want to do any of those. We're going to do that. Oh, wait. That's the second one. And then back down. So we're going to dupe that. We're going to go to the artifacts. Deal 5 damage to an enemy unit when a burnout unit dies. 50% chance to remove buffs. Apply daze to an enemy units when they enter the Pyre room. Your Pyre gets -5. Ooh. I'm thinking the buff is going to actually be more beneficial for a last boss fight. I think. We're going to do Cleansing Water. Screw it. I'm going to take a peek real quick just to make sure I don't need anything. I'm going to get rid of one of the drags since we did end up duping our other Wickless Baron. I don't need them as much anymore. I'm focusing more on the imps and spawning imps in as a necessity. The buff and debuff stacks half. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got. So first, of course, throw this down, followed by our Wickless Baron. We're going to take our next Wickless Baron. We're going to move him up to the 2nd floor. And we're going to scroll on down here and just lower some of the damage output that we're getting from our target here. Is this a sweep? No, that's not sweep. Okay, we're just going to get rid of a random guy in the back. Daze him out so that way we don't have to think about it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ah, there's my sweep target. And still no imps. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Alright, so we're going to throw the drag there. I could have put him up at the front, but I need him for the damage. So there's that. We're going to scroll on down to the bottom. Give the armor to our Wickless Baron just so he's got it. We're going to take the branding right and get rid of one of the troops in the rear. He'll get an armor buff, which isn't that big of an issue. Do a little damage to the boss. Okay, so we're going to go up a couple floors here, see what we're taking a peek at. Scroll on back down. We know that we have to put... Ooh, actually. So we're going to cast the Imp. Perfect. We managed to get a Pyre Chomper, which is absolutely what we needed right there. We're going to do damage to the front one, which gives us a little bit of a buff there. Brings our front target down to 10, second target down to 100 damage that's left. We're going to do the Impling. We're going to scroll back up to the top. We're going to do the Paraffin Thug. We're going to do this guy. So I won't die, but I'll have two guys go up to the top. So that's 20 damage. No way to do a reform on any of our targets yet. I think I have one more reform in the deck, which I'm definitely going to have to reform one of the Barons. Ooh, I got an Ember Drain. Oh, that guy's dead anyways. Yeah, so he does burn out. So I only have one person with Ember Drain. I got to get rid of him, though. He's causing problems.
So those red, like, winged things, I think they apply Ember Drain to all the units that they touch.
Yep, he's Sweep and Ember Drain, yeah.
Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah, he's rough. He's real rough. All right, so what I want to do to make sure that that gets taken care of, first we're going to go down here. We're going to apply that to that first target. We know that we're going to get Ember Drain from the bottom, but what I can do is get rid of the front target who's applying Sweep Ember Drain on all those. I'm going to cast the Queen's Impling in the front so that way I've got a damage soak. I'm killing the front target, and it's helping Wickless Baron. I'm going to drop this target back down one floor to Daze, but also apply that. Oh, we've got the problem because of that stupid sweep target. Okay, well this will help. So I get that from that one. So I get the 30 damage out to everyone. He's dead on the middle floor. We can't put anyone up at the top, so we're going to get one more guy who's going to go up to the top floor for 10 damage. We're going to gain the middle floor, which is going to be fine. So I might as well buff the middle floor with a Dreg. I could have put him in the front so that way it soaked up the damage, which is my fault. Just minor mistake. But we're starting to clear out a little bit. We had a little bit of a rough, rocky start, and I don't have a whole lot happening on the boss right now, so it's a little scary. It's a low plane. A little worrisome. So, of course, we're going to throw out our Pyre Chomper to make sure that gets taken care of. We're going to kill our back two targets, which is perfect. 112 damage to the front target. We're going to use our Molded, so that way we can get another Pyre Chomper out. And we're going to stick him... So 8 and 8, 10 and 10. So I know I'm going to lose both my Barons here. The question is, how can I make that set up? So I guess we're going to do that. So I'm only going to get one Imp Toss out of this. I'm going to take this target, and we're going to throw the Queen's Impling up at the front so that way my Wickless Baron is getting some sort of buff before I know I'm ultimately going to end up losing him. The other thing that I can do here is I can drop my rear target down 1 floor, so he's getting the Queen Imp damage buff applied to him as well of the 30 damage. We've got 3 waves left here. Got a little bit of damage we did to that middle target. So we need a reform on our Wickless Baron. But we should have enough damage on the top floor to clear out the top target. Should have enough. Okay, so we definitely have enough to kill him. And now we've got to worry about middle floor. So let's see here. They're going to stay alive. I don't have a reform that's good. And I know I'm losing targets to sweep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply daze to the front. So that way he cannot attack with sweep, which allows me to get my imp toss in and deal damage to not only the front target, but also the rear target, dropping me down to 2. I'm going to... I'm going to apply piercing to our rear. That's right. Piercing to the rear. Hey, Dan Musashi, how are you? Welcome. Happy to have you here. Welcome to Ham After Dark. We actually, Dan, we made a new account over on Twitch. A whole new vibe. Just here in the vault. Pretty interesting, actually. I like what we're doing. Alright, so we're going to put him there. That's going to apply some awesome little action there. We're going to get another Pyre Chomper down at the bottom for a double application of that. We're going to come back up here knowing that now we have 60 damage there and drop down one of our targets, which leaves only one person making it up to the 3rd floor. And both of those targets dying from the rear side, from the 2 Pyre Chomp and imp tosses. Yeah, we ended up making a secondary account so that way I can just kind of play whatever and restream. It's called Ham After Dark. So, you know, just H4M After Dark, all one word. And I thought we would do that so that way I can just kind of, like, I can play Minecraft, or I can play Sea of Thieves, or I can play this or that or whatever in categories that, you know, that I know that aren't very successful, or especially for me, and meet some new people. I think what ends up happening is that people feel a little overloaded getting into our channel and then finding out that, like, hey, I don't really feel like I fit in, and having a different vibe where we have, like, maybe less of one market audience might be really, really beneficial. So Scape had come up with the idea. I'm sure you're familiar with Scape. Scape had come up with the idea that we should make a secondary account, and in conjunction with Smurf. Smurf brought it up as well. We were kind of talking about it last night in Discord. And so today, while I was on my way to the bank, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this account. We're going to make this happen. This sounds like a good idea. So that's what we did. Here we are. Here we are. All right, so I know that for sure we need to get our Wickless Baron back into combat. So we're going to add him back up. We're going to throw down our Pyre Chomper for the imp toss. We're going to apply... We're going to apply some armor to our top target. I'm going to put piercing on the rear and Hornbreak to the top. He's going to get off one attack. One attack. We should be able to get enough damage when this guy makes it up to the next floor. So we know we'll clear 2nd floor. We know 1st floor is clear because our Baron's going to soak up the first damage from our 2 targets there. We're having a little bit of a problem with DPS. Boom. Boom. Welcome. Dan, thank you. Hello. Hi. Where's our stream manager? Dan Musashi, by the way. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. You're my 8th follower on Twitch. Unbelievable. I can't believe the level of support. It's wild. It really actually is. Like, I made this account today, and we already have some people who are very interested in making it a thing, which is really nice. Really nice. All right, so I kind of want to lose one of my Wickless Barons here. Call me wild.
Wild.
You're wild.
Show you wild.
I need to daze him as much as possible so that way these guys can live. I think I'm going to lose. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this fight. Almost positive. Almost plausitive. He's got his burnout. Yep. 2, 3. Boom. Okay. So this is where it's going to get interesting. I think this is the smart play. So we're going to do this. That's going to get him killed. Sure, that's fine. So then we're going to cancel out of that. I've only got 300 damage going out to the boss. I don't have enough damage. That Ember Drain and that extra nonsense and not having enough AoE, not having enough multi-strike. I didn't have enough damage to build up. I'm not going to pull it off. Oh, hey, Restream is working. So it is sending comments over from YouTube. Okay, that's perfect. Wait, so is YouTube seeing Twitch? Like, so Twitch sees YouTube, but does YouTube see Twitch? Maybe it's that Restream bot didn't have moderator and that was the problem. All right, so I don't have a reform. I have no way to do anything here. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And let's do that. And then ultimately die.
Oh.
That's okay. I had some really crap stuff. Really crap first cards. But I needed the experience anyways for my candle people so that way I could get some of the new cards. So it works out. Dan Musashi, how is life? How was your weekend? How's work? How are the kids? How's the family? How's everything going, man? I feel like I don't stream very late anymore, so I rarely get to talk to you. But, you know, I appreciate you. And hopefully we get the opportunity to do more stuff, especially doing these like late night streams where I can just come down and feel like I can just broadcast to wherever. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be really fun. Maybe we can get some games in sometime. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
Play your third spell of the turn. Cards, gain 1 plus magic.
Yep, depart. Depart. Oh, whoops. Depart. Lama ding dong. Okay, that I can work with. Okay, so now I have a welder helper. The last run I didn't have any other imps, but welder helper was pretty helpful. He's pretty good. He's a pretty solid character. So, ooh, friendly units gain +2 on Slay. Friendly units enter with armor 5. All right, we're gonna go with armor 5. And rally. Of course, rally. And we're gonna go for our battle. Yeah, we need that. We need it. We gotta do it. Always gotta do your first one. Alright, so Sharktail Queen. Along with Encasement. Along with the Dreg. Along with Queen's Impling. First character gets destroyed. Boom. Alright, so wave 1 down. Moving on to wave 2. So we're going to get our Molten Encasement again. Which also means we're going to take one of our Trained Stewards to pop up. And then our Drag to put right behind so that way we can get the gold bonus. We're going to get Molten Encasement for the stealth, which actually should persist through the boss fight. The first wave of the boss fight. which is pretty helpful. Pretty helpful, all things considered. That's going to put us in a really, really solid position to deal damage to the boss right out of the gate. We're going to do this real fast to armor up our front target. And then we're going to take our Train Steward, put him up at the top, and close out on that section. But yeah, I don't know how, you know, if you're doing well, Dan. Always a pleasure. Hopefully everything's going extremely well. Life's treating you well. No one's attacking you in the face or anything wild. People are wild today, you know. Wild people. Oh, boop, boop, snoop. Booping them snoops. Where's my water value at? My water value is at empty. I might have to run upstairs and grab some water real fast. Okay. I don't need imps. I got about 6 because I think you get 3 or 4 from the deck along with the 2 that I got from the armor imps at the beginning. So I should have 6 imps. Sorry, 5 imps. I don't need imps right now. I need cards. We're going to run the Fortify. Ooh, okay, Reform. There we go. And now I have drafts that are available. So that's helpful. There's my Wickless Baron. Perfect. We're getting a great first starting stream. Or sorry, first starting loadout. We're going to go right for the upgrade. We're going to do... We're going to do a Battlestone on one of our dregs, and then I'm going to put a Strength Stone on the Wickless Baron. And we're going to do Endless on one of our Welder Helpers, so that way we're getting constant armor spawns. We're going to figure out what our guy is, skip over both of those because they're flat garbage, and then move on down to the next spot. Enemy begins at every floor. 75 coins. Sure, let's take it. So usually with those smaller guys, they have that like debuff, that rage debuff where it starts. So by the time they move up to the crystal room, they're already going to be at 3. The second floor is going to have that other issue. But there's a really, really easy way that I can take care of this. So we're going to do Molten Encasement for the stealth. And I'm going to screw it up like I have been a couple times tonight. So we're going to just stop that for a quick second. Scroll right back on in. Put the queen down appropriately like we should, instead of being weird and crazy and weird. Let me scroll right back on up here. We're gonna stick down Shardtail Queen, stick down Molten Encasement instead, and then we're gonna stick down the Wickless Baron so that way we're getting the Harvest and the Stealth buff. That should help us kill those first 2 sets. The next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna stick down the Dreg. Along with the second Molten Encasement for the stealth. This will help us get rid of one of the targets. So we're only going to have 3 damage that's going to the crystal right now, or our pyre. Plus we get those, you know, bonuses to Wickless Baron, as well as the spawn for Rally. Got haste that's going to go all the way up to the top floor, which I didn't have a great resolution for that. I didn't have a good cast or anything like that, and I don't have a great AoE. So it's a little bit of a problem. Fine. Everything's fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to throw down a Steward. We're going to throw down a Dreg, followed by another Dreg, so we can clear the bottom floor. Steward going to the middle floor. Close down on the turn. So these guys are all going to basically be 1 damage by the time they make it up, which isn't too bad. Because they'll just get swiped, you know, from the pyre. It'll just do a board clear. So, no big deal. We're going to take care of that. Clear that one out. Boop. Everyone just dead. Respite. We're going to do a little reform action so that way we can build up. The burnout will automatically apply the stealth to our top target, but also give a little bit of a buff. So that happened. We get the rally bonus as well. we're going to do this. I'm going to stick down this. We're going to get the sacrifice imp. Another steward. No big deal. All right. I just wanted to see if maybe I got a card or something like the armor, so that way I could get an added value of armor, apply that to a character, and then call it a day, since I didn't need it, you know? And there it is. There's our Fortify. I knew it would show up. We just needed it to show up before. All right, so we'll at least get rid of one character here. That'll do some good stuff. I'm going to do one of the dregs in the back and throw that up for a little extra damage, and then apply Fortify to the front. End the turn. So burnout, plus obviously losing the steward. He moves up with haste to the top floor, but screw you, because I'm totally going to smack you in the face right now. That's basically where I'm at in life. So just to be mad, I'm going to, throw the little guy up so we're not dealing a bunch of damage to him. These guys are going to go, oh yeah, screw you. I'm about to pop off. We kill the boss. Done and done. So that takes care of that. So how's your murder train going? It's going extremely well. Psycho, thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. I don't have any alerts here. I just now realized. I have no pop-ups, no alerts, no nothing. I'll have to work on that. Thank you. I need you to record. I'm going to have to record something with you, Psycho, so that way we can get that running. I think you're going to love this. So I don't know if you'll recognize this sound effect. I think you will. I think you'll like it. But here, let me pull this up. Twitch, Firebot, Sub SFX. So we recorded this just the other day. Yesterday, actually. Right before we started streaming yesterday. Yesterday? No, it's still today. So it's 11:38 where I am. So today, yesterday for you. We recorded this. And I want to put it into some sort of an effect. Guess who that is? I need something for you. I need something for you to give it a unique feel, and that we can have some fun with that. I think that would be really, really awesome. If we can get like some sub alerts, some sub commands, things like that. Also, we're only 1 follower away from 10 followers here on Twitch. Thank you guys for helping us blow it up. Don't chuckle at me. Don't you chuckle, Smurf. This guy.
10.
This guy.
Step back in time. 2 years ago.
Step back in time. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. I think this is going to be interesting, and I think that it'll put us in a really, really good position, because we might get our 10 stand behinds or 15 or whatever. We might stream to 3 or 4 people, but I can play Sea of Thieves now. I can play whatever I want, on off days, off times. We can produce some YouTube content, get some stuff over there where we can have some fun. Because we're streaming to YouTube and to Twitch at the same time. So people are watching over on YouTube, people are watching here on Twitch, and I can restream, which is another really cool aspect, so that way I can start bringing my content to both locations at the same time, and we can still do both. So I think it's a good place to be right now. It's a good place to be. I like it. Really like it. Makes me happy. I can just play whatever I want and have fun however I want. I can play Vermintide or Minecraft or Fortnite or whatever. What cards do I have? Do I wanna dupe anything? Do I have a merchant over there? No. Alright, Cavern first, and then see what I need to dupe. But yeah, Psycho, I don't know. Do you have any ideas on what you might want to record? Something fun? Something fun that we could use as an alert? I don't know. Ooh, Smurf. Petrified Skull. Please.
Oh no, Thy Holiest Shield. That's the one I need. I've been rolling for days trying to get there.
That's the card?
That's the card. What are you playing? You're playing Hellhorn.
Hellhorned, Hellhorned, yeah, melting, yeah. So I'm doing the reform buff with Shartail's Queen.
Umbra and Hellhorn because it's just boss and yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shartail Queen. Yeah, and like literally days of just rolling and rolling and rolling trying to get that stupid cavern. And you're on 3? Yeah. Yeah. So I get to like level 3 and oh, that's not it. So I reload. Been doing that forever.
I'm sorry. So you've played probably thousands of matches of this. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything either, Psycho. He didn't get Java. He got the standard like Minecraft version. I don't know if he's still attempting to get Java and what that would look like. You know, we had talked about him needing to get like something like a VPN or something like that, so that way he would have access to it. But I don't know the best way to overcome that obstacle. I don't know what the best course of action is. So it's whatever. It's, you know, it's whatever. I can try and let him use my VPN account. You do whatever you feel comfortable with. I mean, you could reset a password, set it to a 2FA, sit in Discord and say, here's the code, and then change the password back to your normal password. So you could name it to like, you know, soldier1245 and then put on 2FA, read the code off. He logs in, he tries to download Java in the region, purchases it through the store. It's tied to his account and he pulls back out. You know, I don't know what that would look like. But my fear is that if he buys it and then it's available in the store and he downloads, when the system goes to check the key to make sure that it's active, it's going to say that it's not working because it's not available in that region. That's my fear, that he spends the money and he can't use it in the first place. So I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, what do I want to do? I want another molded. So we'll go to that one. We'll go to the next boss fight. So Psycho, I assume you're off to work, or you're getting ready for work, you know, one of the two. I need more water. If that happens, I can take his account and give it to someone else. Oh yeah, I suppose that works. You could just be like, look, I'm sorry your account's not working. Let's just give it to someone. That makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, so let's see here. Putting the queen down at the bottom. And then we're going to put the Baron up, since we don't have Imp Toss yet. I'm going to put Fortify on my guy. My man. My man. And then, since we don't have Imp Toss, I might as well throw out that in damage, which gives us the buff for the rally. And we get to kill that front target. Molded's useless right now. I gotta see if I can get a holdover on it. Yoink. Yoink. About to leave for work. Psycho, I hope you have a great day. And I appreciate you stopping by and being our 9th follower here on Twitch.
True.
I can only expect great things. I'm assuming at one point we'll get to 20 followers or 40 followers or something like that, and we're going to do amazing stuff together. Amazing stuff. And I can be like, yeah, I just started my Twitch account here. I just started it on 1/25/2021. Brand new streamer here on Twitch. I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, I've got a main account. I wanted to play whatever I wanted to play. And people would be like, why don't you do that on your main account? Because Twitch doesn't want to let me. They say that I'm bad at games, so they actually like just deny my account when I hit go live. They just shut it down. Tell me I'm not allowed anymore. Normal stuff. Normal stuff. Alright, we're going to put the drag out for the boost. Kill our 2 targets on that floor. Then we're going to do that. And I'll just wait for the imp sacrifice and then get rid of that one, draw the card. So we'll get rid of our middle floor targets. Also do some damage to that. And that one's endless. So I might actually sacrifice the endless one so that way, of course, I'm getting the boost. Get the boost for it. Have you had any glass plates fall on you lately, Psycho? Any major weird work attacks? Alright, so let's do molded. so we can get the burnout boost. Put them down. Kills the front target. Back target dies. Wickless Baron gets some bonuses from the double burnout plus the kill. Scroll on back down to the bottom. Nothing? Good. I'm glad you're not getting destroyed by your coworkers. Did you ever end up going back out with that girl just to like hang out and spend some time, you know? Are you thinking about getting a new job? Are you gonna like finish your project and then maybe get something else? Just wondering. Let's see here. We're just gonna end that. Ooh, a little push action puts us in a weird position with our Shardtail Queen. I'm trying to get rid of my targets here. Alright, so we're gonna do Molten Encasement for the stealth. That'll help that. And we don't have to worry about that. That gets rid of my weird guy there. And actually, you know what? Yeah, I like what options I have right now, and there's not a whole lot else I can do. We met on Friday after work and had a nice time. Did you learn anything about her that you feel like would be good with the possibility of a relationship were you guys to ever to progress to that position? Were you like, oh yeah, like she's got this style of, you know, whatever, and I like that. Or, you know, she does this in her spare time, which is cool. Or, you know, whatever. Just wondering. You know, little stuff. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Get our Endless out. And we're gonna put up this guy along with the drag in the rear, so that way we can kill that top floor target. Second floor dies. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We've got one target making it up to the top floor. A little bit of damage we got to worry about on the boss. Boss is about to spawn in. Yeah, I'll finish my project, then I'll stay for a few years while getting to know how to be a proper adult, like doing taxes and setting my bank of stuff up. Dude, I have to worry about doing my taxes for the streaming stuff, and considered it's all royalties. I'm not very excited about that. I'm gonna have to send over so many like 1099s and forms and things like that you just have. I've got one for like Patreon. I don't have anything for YouTube, thankfully, yet. But Patreon and Twitch and Mixer, which I have yet to receive any forms from Mixer. I don't know how that's going to work. If I have to report any earnings, like if the company just doesn't exist, like, do we worry about that? Do I have to pay for that?
That's a good point.
Company's gone?
It's just defunct. Yeah, how do you... Yeah, they've got to provide. They've got to provide it.
Yeah, it doesn't. And actually, that's really interesting. So we've had this discussion previously that they don't teach like life skills a lot, and taxes is one of those things that they don't really talk about. And here, we've brought that up before, that you don't see that from the States. And so that's interesting for you to say that they also don't teach that where you are, that they don't offer you any life skills. Like, obviously you're working at a young age, or a relatively young age. You know, you're getting started quickly and you're trying to learn how to be, you know, contributing adult, whatever you want to call it. But it's interesting to know that like multiple different locations don't really showcase how to offer that up a little bit more to society. It's weird. Like, how do we teach people how to pay for taxes? And we've had the discussion that like it just benefits the people that, you know, have to pay into taxes, or sorry, the companies that collect. I don't know, man. I don't know. What was I gonna do? This is what I was gonna do really quickly. Sorry, 1 second. One second. No, that's fine. That's fine. As a category. Categorically, as a category, you are the category. There's my stream manager. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just wild to me that you end up having a situation where like they don't offer that up and no one teaches any of that. Like, so how are you supposed to learn it? And like, unless you go to school for being an attorney or like an accountant or an attorney accountant, a DBA, like something like that. Like, so you've got to fork over a boatload of cash to understand how to maybe get around some of the costs of having to pay consistently into government programs and taxes. How can I best keep myself safe and producing money and income for my family? It's an interesting philosophy. They really got to reevaluate all the stuff that gets taught in school. And it's I don't know, man. I don't know. Like if regular everyday everyday citizens had more income, then it would only benefit the companies that are trying to make more money because they would have more to spend. Would they charge more? Could you sanction that? Whole different set of conversations. All right, so I know I need large stones and upgrades for my troops. I'm going to have to take the left-hand side to get rid of nonsense anyways. So we're going to get rid of a couple of these train stewards because I don't want them in my deck, and I really have to trim down my deck size. Right now, that's been a problem. I mean, I'm at 24 cards. Come on, large stone. Really? Really? Nothing? You want to give me literally nothing. Okay. Okay, I appreciate you. Okay. We'll upgrade, give it a battle stone, give it a little bit of extra HP. We'll do a purge of the card, get rid of yet another train steward. We'll do a reroll to see if we can get, I mean, frenzy stone's okay. I'm going to put it on one of our wickless barons so that way we're getting a little bit of a boost, and then I'm gonna hold out on that one, and I'm gonna put a boost on the paraffin thugs so that way we're getting that bonus, and we'll give our drag. We'll have one drag tank. What'd you say?
You could use a pop filter.
Oh, I'm ultra close.
Yeah.
Because I'm quiet. So, I mean, I could just do this.
Well, I mean, it's good. It sounds great.
I can just drop the gain down because I'm ultra close now.
No. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. I don't think the gain is the issue.
Okay.
It's the condenser, the foil, the actual physical unit, I think is clipping. So
Not a problem. I mean, yeah, I could get a pop filter and just attach it to my little thing here.
yeah.
My little pony.
Like, cause the other one, it was never a problem because you had like the big sock on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's just bare.
Well, and it's small because it's more of like a capsule style. So I might have to do that. Not a problem. Psycho, much love to you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Don't use all your data. I know you burned through a lot of it. And I know it's entertaining to watch during, like, you know, train, bus, transport. But don't put yourself in trouble. Don't do it. I love you too much, bro. I love you too much. Don't do it yourself.
I cannot wait for Starlink. Oh my god, no more data caps.
Is that haste? Haste. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Alright, we'll just do that. Screw it. We'll just do that. We'll cast that out and call it a day. All right. All right, so I reset my settings. If you don't think it'll help that much, then I'm not that worried about it. Let's do.
No, don't worry about it.
Let's do.
Something I noticed.
Pretty much have to run the multi-strike up there at the top, just so that way I can make sure those guys don't make it to the top. Who cares about my little crazy angel? Whatever, it's fine. Yet again. Alright, so 5 over that. We're going to do the encasement for the stealth so that we get that boost. And let's put one of the implings up since we do have a reform out. And let's put a drag here. We know the haste is going to go through, so not that much of a problem. We can get some reforms on the drags. We get the multi-strike out. Boom. They pop haste. They move up. Paraffin Thug goes down. Not a problem. Alright, so we're going to do an encasement for that. And then we're going to do... She kills that one. And we still have haste. Alright, so let's look at the top floor. We need to do one of these in the back. He takes out the haste. We lose stealth. They're going to move up a floor. So let's do this. He goes down. And let's do this guy. So they both go down. So no matter what, those guys are going to die. We're going to put the welder helper up at the front so he's getting an armor boost. And we're getting the rally. And then I can try and do, hey, Twitch Mobile works. I can try and do the imp sacrifice for the boost on my targets here. So we'll do another one of those. We'll do the imp sacrifice because why the hell not? And then we'll do yet another welder helper. Along with the remnant molded. Or the, yeah. Holdover molded, whatever. Drop down a Paraffin Thug. Throw him up there on the top. Call it out a day. Kill that boss. How long's your average commute, Psycho? Like, how long do you have to drive or whatever to get to work? Or, you know, ride or whatever it is? I don't want the imp. I do want Sacred Wicks. I gotta see if I can do a 10 card run. More remains of Armageddon. There we go. There we go. I got
Jealous.
it. I got it. All right, so now we just have to hope that I get the right magic consumption piece. Remove consumer brooms. Oh, son of a chicken finger. Son of a chicken finger biscuit. It's all right. I can put one of those on there. And that's fine. We'll do one reroll. We'll get the Emberstone. We'll put that on our molded run, so that reduces that. Ooh, fire. It's 30 minutes with the car, but since I'm lazy, I take the train, 90 minutes to commute. So, oh, wait, you have a car that you drive? Or would you be taking that like via like a taxi or something like that? Is it like a family car? Do you own it? I have so many questions. Also, you would have had fun the other day when we were trying to go through the FiveM application for that server. I don't know if you're interested, but Jacob and I were talking about it, and he had me like he tried to help me. And it was funny because like a lot of his answers were the exact same thing, and they denied me. They were like, your answers aren't descriptive enough. And I'm like, they're your answer, but just reworded. And I was like, someone else is looking at these interviews, like these packets, these applications. Like you have one person looking at one and another person looking at another, and they're two separate ideas of what they're looking for. That's what's happening. All right, so we want to do Rail Forge Hammer so that way we can get those rally bonuses and mess with that as much as possible. We're going to rotate that in. My dad had his 2 cars, and I can use one if needed. That's cool. What kind of cars do you guys have, if you don't mind me asking? Please say Toyota. I would love it. 2 Toyotas in Germany. Flawless. That right there, that's the dream. That's the ideal thing. That's the greatest way to live. Non-boss enemies unit restore health when moving up a floor for a random artifact. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. So we throw down the Shardtail Queen. We're going to pop up the Weldless Helper since we get the damage buff, and he's on Endless anyways. We're going to throw the Paraffin Thug in the middle. And then we're going to take our Train Steward and pop him up onto the next floor. And then we're going to hit end turn. That should take care of our first 3 targets. 1, 2, 3. We've got an 8/1, but we should be able to resist because of the armor boost that we get. We're going to pop on back down here. We're going to get the stealth encasement to reduce some of the damage. And then we're going to wait for that one opportunity. I'm going to stick the one Wickless Baron on this floor, and I'm going to wait to bring this Wickless Baron down to the bottom floor after we get a sacrifice and we can get rid of the Paraffin Thug. But we're using that to try and get rid of some of the damage. I don't like how we have so many targets blocking our rears, because now I don't have a great way to succeed. Actually, you know what? In order to do this, I'm going to hit a huge boost up at the top. So I'm going to have both of my targets gaining +3/+3. And I'm going to focus on having my Shardtail Queen on the bottom, and then both of my Barons up top for a massive boost. So if they make it through the ground floor, then I can get them back up to the top floor. And I should be able to take care of them. Because we've got multi-strike there and the double buffs from health and damage going out of that top floor. So we're going to work on the encasement, get the stealth, take out as many targets here in the front. So we see 3 of them go down. We get the damage boost to that one target, but we still have plenty enough damage to deal with him and the guy in the rear. We're going to put down another encasement. Actually, hold on. We're going to do a mold over and do an encasement. So I'm going to stack as much stealth as humanly possible. He'll get burnout, which is fine. And we're going to apply... I'm going to apply armor to the guys at the top so that way I don't have to think about them. He's going to die. So I'm going to take the Impling and do the damage to the front target so that way I'm doing damage to the guy in the rear. And then we should have enough damage done to them so when they make it up to the top floor, my Barons, my Wickless Barons can take care of them. Shardtail Queen coming in clutch, getting rid of that tank up at the front. So we've got the 3-peat from this troop. We're going to do this here in the middle floor to deal the damage with the Molting Imp and take out all 3 targets at once. I'm going to swap back on down here and get rid of that one so that way we get the flip over. I can call that back in for the rally to get the damage boost. And then I just throw cards around and hope something sticks. Gotcha. It's a Toyota and a VW. I love it. I don't know what model's, not a problem. You are way more strategic at this game than me. Dude, you definitely have to be at the last part, but I totally get it. You just kind of throw cards around and hope for it. Like I was talking about it earlier that I don't really do the math for it. I just like having like something flowing and something running and not have to think about it. But I enjoy it, you know? I enjoy like just throwing a card out and calling it a day. But I don't know. I like the feel of the game. It's got a really, really good vibe. It's just nice and laid back, and you can do whatever the hell you want and be perfectly fine. Like what there's nothing else that you have to think about, nothing else you have to worry about. So what I want to do here is I'm going to stick the drag up at the top floor so that way I get the harvest bonus to both the Wickless Barons up at the top, which should give me the +3 on the multi-strike. It might be enough to deal the damage that I need to. Not quite, but it only gives me one attack that I have to deal with at the pyre. So we're going to drop back down. I'm going to put... I'm going to hold on to the helper. And we're going to drop that down. End the turn. Rotate on to the next one. Nice. Wait, did someone tag me in Discord? What is this? Looking for group? Oh, Remnant. Ash was looking at Remnant. Oh, okay, gotcha. I get you. Alright, so we've got Molded. We're going to call the Reform for that. Actually, I can't see what's behind there. We'll do the drag so that way I'm getting as many drag holdovers as we can. I'm going to drop back down here. We're going to do the damage to the front tank. They'll do the attack. Wow, only 4 damage. So I can't even get that one renewed. No, that's alright. Boss is about to show up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the Molten Encasement down here on the ground floor. So when the boss swoops in, they're going to drop the Molten Encasement. We're going to add an extra 2 stacks of stealth back on. It's going to buy them time, and it should make it to where I don't have to worry about these top guys getting all the way up to the top floor and dealing more damage. I'm also going to stick my dregs here so that even if they do make it through, we've got enough damage, and the burnout adds to the value of our Wickless Barons. Drop on back down. Spawn in the boss, and with Shardtail Queen we should have plenty enough damage to kill through a boss, but we're gonna find out. That stealth should do a lot of the work. Ooh, and it's sweep. That's where our problem is. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Well, if he's got something to attack, so that gets me an extra 100 damage out. Now, if the guy in the back dies, he's going to apply a buff to the boss to add more damage on sweep attack, which I definitely do not want. So let's see what we can come up with here. We already know that that's going to get sweeped out. If he doesn't have an attack to sweep out, then it won't matter. But the more damage that we can do to the front target, the more beneficial. Plus, we can get the rally bonus to it. So we're going to do this. Should give us a little bit more damage. We got an extra 100 that we've got going towards that boss. And we only have 1 discard left. I'm going to sacrifice the middle floor imp, which gets me yet another imp to get rid of. And I'm going to take this and put it up at the top so that way we can do damage to the front. And we kill the whole top floor just in case, because it's going to make it from the top floor to the second, or the bottom floor to the second with the boss wave. So we're going to do that. Middle floor is going to make it up, and it's probably going to make it all the way to the top. We're going to try and work with some reforms to see if we can get some extra damage in on the boss, but it's going to be a little tight. It's going to be a little tight. We're going to see what we can come up with, but we've got really good multi-strike from the Wickless Barons up at the top, along with a whole lot of health. So we don't have to worry too much about them, but we got to see what we can come up with. So I'm really hoping for a good reform on this next one. Stealth gave us a little bit of time. Of course, the sweep is doing its damage course. We've got one more good attack. Drop us down to 300 HP on the boss. So the real concern is here, we don't have a holdover. Sweep's going to kill the first 2 targets, so that won't be that great. So I'm going to put the molded encasement up here, and then I'm going to stick our welded helpers just everywhere. just everywhere, because why not? They're endless anyways. And sweep is just going to sweep right on through them. So I'm just buying a little bit of time. Do a couple extra hits of damage. It's not a whole lot, but, you know, it adds up a little bit. Okay, so now he's going to pop up. We've got room for one more target. We don't want to put that one on that guy. So what we want to do is we want to get a little bit of armor on that target. We're going to do a sacrifice on the imp. We're going to do a molded holdover. We're going to grab our drag, since that's a relatively low cost card, and it gets us damage quicker, so that way you guys don't have to wait around. I'm going to do another holdover. Now we only have room for one entity, so we're just going to call in another drag. Again, to speed up the interaction rate, so that way you guys don't have to wait as long. Now I could speed up the actual gameplay, but I kind of like the speed, the ratio being at that, like, you know, fast, not ultra fast, or, you know, whatever. I feel like I can follow along a little bit better and figure out what might have gone wrong, and so I can learn, you know. All right, do I have a Pyre Chomper? I don't think I do yet. No, I only have the damage, so I want one Pyre Chomper for that boost. Apply Endless to a unit, reform plus an additional 10. I'm on wave 5. What do I want? What do I want? Let's just skip it. Alright, so I'm skipping because, again, I'm trying to keep my deck size down as much as possible. Artifact, Cavern, Merchant. I have enough gold to try and get that Consume swipe. And I don't want to necessarily get a ton. I also do need Large Stone. So I've got Trinket on the next rotation along with card duplication. And then I have Merchant and Magic at the end. And what's at the... I have Duplication and Vortex Split. Duplication, Vortex Split. And Vortex on the left. So I won't be able to get out a duplication on the Purge card. But I might get Large Stone at the end. I'm going to go the right side. Check the artifact. Pyre gets 40. We're going to do the extra 40 HP. Just because, why not? Nice. Upgrade a spell to remove Consume, which brings my Petrified Skull up to a 1. Then I'm going to put Emberstone on it, which brings it back down to a 0. So I have a 0 cost card without Consume, which will kill any unit that's a non-boss, which is perfect. So in case I have to do like a, I need to kill this now, it's going up. It's a 10/3 like on multi-strike, and it's got 160 HP. I don't know what to do. I can just drop it, get rid of it, not have to think about it. So we're going to do that. So we're good there. That puts us in a really good position. I'm not going to reroll. We're going to do the caverns, and then we're going to move on to the next boss fight. And I might stop after this run, just so that way I can get some time to rest before tomorrow. Pyre gets +1 for every 10 gold. Deal 2 damage to an enemy unit. Slay equals +50. So I could put like a magic boost on that, but I only have one more location that I can pull that from. And I really kind of want to go the opposite side so that way I can try and get that Large Stone. So I'm going to avoid that, and I'm just going to go straight for aggressive, get the artifact, get a couple extra damage out of it, you know, so that way, you know, the more gold that I have, the better off I am. We're going to scroll on down here to the next boss. All right. All right. So we're going to do this. Throw it on that. And we're going to go with the multi-strike target. So that way we can get those harvest bonus. We're going to take the Wickless Baron and not do anything with it because I don't have enough Ember to do anything with it. We're just going to sit on our hands and be good little people. I need some water. I never went up and got water. I never took my little mini break. So we're going to throw down the Act of Contrition, the Weight of Contrition, the Source of Contrition. All those guys are going to die. So we need to get Paraffin Thug out so that way we can get damage up as quickly as possible on the upper target so that I have the time to attack the new targets as they're coming up. We should have enough time because the damage that we'll do to this front set, it should be enough. I have one more Wickless Baron that's there, and I think I have a couple damage attacks that I can mess with. So I'm hoping I get that like Fire Imp. That would be really helpful right now. We're getting some good harvest out of our Wickless Baron right now, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Exactly what we needed. Okay. So we're going to scroll all the way up to the top. We're going to get rid of this one. I'm not going to get rid of that second one quite yet. And so what I want to do is I want to drop the Drag up at the front because he's got enough damage to soak that. Then I'm going to drop the second Drag down so that way I can get rid of the like little Alabaster person. I'm going to take the Train Steward. Oh wait, this is my Endless. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the Helper. We're going to put the armor up on that, and I'm going to soak the 3 damage. So we've got our damage soak that's happening. And we're going to roll on through. So let's see here. I think that oh, I'm going to get rid of that now that he's offline. All right, so we're going to reform. Wait, Psycho, if you are still out there and listening, what difficulty set are you up to? Like, what Covenant rank are you up to? 11 damage. We're going to put the Molten Encasement up so that way it stealths my units and keeps them safe. I'm going to put the armor bonus up on them so that way that gets taken care of. And I don't have enough to do the Imp. We're just going to put all of our Drags out, do a little bit of damage to the boss up there. I mean, because that'll be about 60 damage that we'll get out of the 1300. And we're going to lose our Drags anyways, so we'll just get them on a reform. Got a lot of contrition going out. A lot of contrition going out. This is bad. This is really bad. Alright, so we're going to do that. We're going to come back down here. We're going to pop the Endless. So that way that one's taken care of. All those guys die. Except for the last one, which is rough. Alright, so we're going to do this. That'll take care of that set. I need to clear out that middle floor. We're gonna take and get rid of those contrition cards, so we don't have to worry about the pyre damage, and then we'll start worrying about those larger cards. We're farming up a little bit of gold, which also helps us because then we're adding damage boost to our pyre shard from the artifact that we have that increases that for every stack of 10 gold that we've got. I think I'm on 11. Nice. Yeah, I don't remember what set I'm on. For the other one. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so we're in a really, really good place here. So we're gonna do the Chomper. Yeah, I think I'm like 17 or 18, somewhere around there. I don't remember what I'm at. We're gonna pop the Contrition. This puts me in a good place with the Petrified Skull because I can get rid of that target and use that as a carryover. We're gonna take and do the Drag. And pop that off so we can get rid of the Alabaster Guardian here. I hope that wasn't Maggie like waking up and knocking her phone down because she was reaching for it because she's upset that I woke her up or something. I hope not. I might have to stop here in a second. Close the end. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that one. That'll get rid of one of our contrition cards, and we got to get rid of that other Guardian, that Alabaster Guardian. Okay. Doing good there. We need some more rallies on that ground floor. That way we can get that multi-strike really doing some work. We've only got one more wave before the boss fight. So let's do this. Let's do a reform. Let's pull up our Pyrochomper. We're going to put him back down on the ground floor. So that way we can get the extra energy that we need. We're going to get rid of the Penance and the Contrition. We're going to come back up here to the top. We're going to put some armor up there. We're going to fortify again. Consume Wick. Do a little drag action. And do a Molten Encasement down at the bottom for stealth. So that way we're getting the rally bonus, the harvest bonus, and stealth for the next wave. If we go back up, we've got about 2 attack waves that we're going to have out of this set, unfortunately. So we're going to take, about 16 damage from these 2 minions, unfortunately. Man, 11, huh? Rank 11. Is it 11 or 12 that starts the top floor days? I hate top floor days. Such a pain. So 1, and the 16 damage like we expected. 10 is the one that does the top floor. Oh, I hate that top floor days, dude. Of like all the additions in Covenant that I've dealt with thus far, that's my least favorite. Like the added merchant costs, okay, who cares? Everything else is like, okay, fine, whatever. But I hate that. I hate it so much. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put down, he's 10 by 2. Is he our endless one? No, he's not our endless one. Where's our endless one? He must be gone. Okay. So we're going to do this guy. And cast that. Then we're going to do an Imp Explosion to draw a card. That's going to give us a little extra energy. We're going to throw down the Molting Imp, which is going to give us the Harvest bonus and the Rally bonus to our Wickless Baron and our Shardtail Queen. We're losing one guy who's going to go up to the top just from the raw damage. Because he's only taking 2 damage from the Welder and our Imp in the back, unfortunately. But that's fine. That's fine. We kill the Alabaster Champion. Second floor goes down. We're doing 1100 damage to the boss. So this is going to be perfectly fine. Wickless Baron on second floor will take care of it for us. So we're at 87 HP left on the boss. Perfectly fine. We're gonna be just fine out here. So we throw down our Contrition, throw down our Contrition, throw down our Welded Helper. Still not enough. Okay. So we're doing like 70 damage to the boss right now. It's not gonna be enough to kill it, but that'll be fine. So poop, poop, poop. 14 damage left. And close out on the boss with a Paraffin hit. So we get the extra 20 gold from that, from finishing the boss with the Paraffin Thug. Which obviously increases the damage value of our Pyre if we don't spend it, and makes it a little bit more likely that we can have the money that we need in order to tackle the large stone for our Wickless Barons. I definitely want the space. I'm thinking about the energy, but I definitely want the space with the other guys because I don't know what upgrade I'm going to get. So this is kind of where we're at before. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to run the duplicate, but we're going to do the artifact. Ooh, reduce merchant costs. I don't have a whole lot of summon abilities. I do have a couple with like the 10 damage and then the armor bonuses. And I do have the endless. So I'd be getting 40 armor from the welders. Yeah, let's do that. 40 armor from welder on endless spawn with reform. Perfect. I love it. Great flavor. Apply it plus 5x 2 damage to the pyre, or restore 5 health 5 times on pyre health. All right, let's do that. because we'll just get our health back the natural way. That way, in case I have to go left or right, like I can pull whatever I need to. And it's a consume, so I'll have 2 opportunities probably to use it. So let's scroll down, see what we got. So I could use duplicate on the petrified skull, which would give me 2 instant kills on non-boss characters. But I'm trying to decide if I want to add a 3rd Wickless Baron so that way I have a tank on every floor. I feel like that's the smarter play. I have 3 reforms in total. And Bone Shine isn't super important. I think I'm going to go for the Wickless Baron on the duplicate and run from that. Just so that way I don't have to think about it. Actually, I have the Sacred Wicks as well, even though it's a consume card. I think I'll run that. I think I'm going to run the Wickless Baron and do the duplicate on my multi-strikes so that way I can build up with spare imps and, you know, dregs and everything like that. Because I have 3 reforms at 0 cost. So I'm going to duplicate the Baron. We're going to get our champion upgrade. Hopefully, nice. So now I have my action that I'm looking for. So I can get my Imperialist over my Royalty 3. So we've got our rally bonus that we're going to get, plus the imp damage for imp toss. We're not going to do the challenge on this fight. We're going to skip past that. Here's our Ember Drain Bastard. Which makes me wonder if I want to try and get around that for now. And do multi-strike on the ground floor. Because it's got sweep. Alright, so I'm only going to put down Queen. I'm going to put Fortify up. I'm going to put Paraffin Thug up on the top floor. And then we're going to rotate through that. So we're going to get 1 Ember Drain on us right from the start. So we're already down to 2. This isn't our Endless Helper. But we do have 1 of our multi-strikes. Which is good. So I'm going to put up this for the buff. We're getting that 40 armor applied because of the double boost from our summon ability, which was Ashes of the Fallen. So summon abilities trigger twice. So we're going to get that from our welder. We're also applying the imp toss. I'm going to throw that down just for the purpose, so that way we're getting a little extra damage in on our guy. So we'll be doing 2 stacks of 40 plus the attack plus the rally bonus. I'm going to move the drag up here so he can get an attack in on that guy. We've got a little bit of something going on. Unfortunately, we lose the little angel, but we get some good damage in, so that's fine. And we're getting basically like an Ember Drain thing per floor. So in order to counter the Ember Drain, what I'm gonna do, I can't, because the Molten Encasement won't stealth it because it's a sweep attack. Okay, so I'm going to put the Wickless Baron on the 2nd floor. And the sweep attack's going to cause the damage to that, so it's going to miss it no matter what. Oh, but I get armor out of the gate, don't I? I get armor out of the gate. Okay. So I still have the time to do the imp toss, which will be fine. She'll swallow that up so that he won't have Ember Drain when it gets yeeted over to the rest of the guys on the floor. We're going to cast the Reform to see what we've got. Burnout 1 gets applied, so no big issue. We can cause 6 damage to some troops that are out there. He's going to go up, but he's only 2 damage to that pyre, so it's not that big of an issue. This is the guy that I want to try and attack and kill. I'm going to have him be my damage soak since the burnout's going to kill him anyways. We're going to get the harvest bonus for that character. And then we're going to get a secondary imp toss in, as well as the damage boost, or sorry, the armor boost to my my Shardtail Queen. So we'll kill the front target, plus get the rally bonus, which is perfect, exactly where we want to be. All the Ember Drains go away, except for the one on the Queen and the one at the top. But we should probably have that, the Pyre Chomper here. He's somewhere close. There he is. So we're going to throw down Pyre Chomper. That'll give us the boost that we need to get past the Ember Drain. We're going to put the Wickless Baron up at the top so that way we have one of those down. We're going to take and do the Welder Helper since he's on Eternal, and he's going to get swallowed up, plus we're getting the extra 20 back. We're going to do Queen's Impling on this floor so that way it gets a little bit of damage, but we're also getting the Harvest. And then we're going to use the remainder of what we have in energy. We know that the top guy's going to be dead. We're going to use the Bone Shine. Gets 25 health back. That is a consume. Puts us up to 168, so pretty much topped off. Perfect. Right where we want to be. We're going to close out on the turn. Get a little Imtoss action. Drops that guy down to 20 HP. Awesome. Okay. So then, same strategy. We've got our Endless Welder Helper that's back up. We're going to get the rally bonus from that, as well as the toss. Everyone's dead from all of these, which is perfect. We have a lot of Ember Drain. We have 2 Ember Drains on the top and 1 on the bottom for a total of 3. Which puts me kind of in a bad position. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to do the important work on this guy so I can gain 2 energy back. We're going to recast Welder Helper for an extra 40 armor value to the Shardtail Queen, get her the rally bonus that she needs, as well as throw down an extra Dreg for a secondary rally bonus. And then we'll do, for the sake of it, oh no, I won't have enough damage if I put that down because I'll have the armor value and he won't take the tick. He'll end up actually getting Ember Drain, so I don't want to stick down Molten Encasement. We're going to get our top floor that's dead, middle floor that's dead. We only have to worry about our guy who's got Ember Drain on the middle floor after this run. So we're going to wait for that to push through. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Shoo-boo-dum-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright, so just like we said, we've got our Ember Drain guys that we have to deal with. We've got a couple 0-cost cards. We already have the Petrified Skull that we can use. We're just going to get rid of that so we don't have to deal with the Ember Drain on the next turn. We're going to drop the Drag down at the bottom. 1 as a Soak because it's a 2-cost card, but 2 because it gives us the rally bonus. We're going to end the turn. We still have our Endless on the Welder. And we have 178 armor on our main boss, which is going to give us the ability to kill. We're going to pop the Consume just to be ultra toxic. Throw down the Welder Helper to be ultra toxic. Throw down this Queen to be ultra toxic. Then we're going to cast the Important Work to be ultra toxic on the Welder Helper to yet again throw out Molded, which gives us another card for our Welded Helper. So we can throw that back out yet again. And then, just for the sake of it, we're going to throw out a Wickless Baron. Just to be mean. Just to be mean to the boss. We don't want that boss to be having a good day. We want that boss to be having a bad day. So even with Trample and everything, that armor value is coming in absolutely clutch with that Devil Summon. 40 armor apiece every single time we're calling in a Welder, which is just absolutely destructive. 220 damage ticks on our Shardtail Queen from all those rally calls. We're looking healthy for the last boss. This could be where we need to be. Return a random consumed spell to your hand. We don't have a lot of consume spells. I believe we only have the 1, actually. Yeah. We got rid of a lot of... 2 consume spells. So we got 2 consume spells. I could do Imp in a Box as a random encounter. And I could get Scholar. I could get Welder. I could get, the Impish Explosion. I could get, whatever out of it. Or I could do the Tiresome Climb for the Daze effect. I think I'm actually just going to skip it. This will give me the added bonus to my damage to my Pyre. And we'll pick Wicked Blaze here for the Reform because we can always use more Reforms. And I have a relatively large deck right now. It makes me interested in going to that right side, which I actually want to do anyways because we want to see if we can get a large stone. Come on, baby, large stone. Show me that large stone. Yes. Yes. This is exactly what we wanted to see. So we've got a Harvest on the large stone there. on our Wickless Baron. That's, you know, one of our larger guys. I can put a 40 damage cost onto the Paraffin Thug, so when I stick him in the back behind our Wickless Barons, he's in a little bit better of a position. And we're going to save everything that we have in money. We're going to get those from that. We're going to go through the Vortex. I'm going to get rid of one of our dregs and... yeah, the other Train Steward. That's useless to me, which will drop down the deck size like we wanted just a little bit. Conserve energy between turns. Now, see, I don't want combustible wax. And the reason I don't want combustible wax is sometimes when you're respawning in one of your guys for a reform, you want it to die quickly so that way you can reform it consistently over and over and over again. So we're not going to do that. I'm just going to pop up the conserve the energy between the horns. And we're going to go that route. We're going to leave. And we're going to keep that just for the damage. We're going to keep the gold that we have just for the damage on our Pyre. And we're on to last boss. I have a good feeling about it. It should put us into wave 5 or Covenant 5. Ooh, that's mean. That's mean. So first we're going to put out that. We've got our multi-strike on the ground floor, which is a great start. And then what do we have here that's causing the problem? Oh, okay, so 8 by 3 by 10. So we're going to put out the Queen's Impling on the front for the rally bonus and as a damage soak. So the first attack's going to go through that and then do 10 damage to our Baron. We'll get the harvest bonus from it. It makes me want to almost consume and do the sacrifice, but I don't think we'll get the card that we want because I'm just terrible with bad luck. So I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just going to let it soak damage and gain the multi-strike that we need. It'll do, you know, the imp toss that it doesn't have. We get the next wave that spawns in. It was rough. It was rough. Alright, so we know we've got our large stone here. I'm going to put him up at the top floor, along with Paraffin Thug in the rear. And I'm going to stick the dreg up at the front for the soak. And then I am just going to cast this so that way I've got it. 1 for the rally, but 2 for the damage soak. And I'm running really light right now on applicable cards. Alright, so perfect. That's just enough. So the harvest from the first one, we get 8 damage. The first guy goes down. 10 damage does it to the second guy. And then the 3 damage follows up in the rear. We're going to get 118 damage to the front target. I could really use that, like, skull. You know, the whatever, limitless skull or whatever right now. That'd be a really good thing to have. So we get a self-mutilation from having one of those birds up. I think we actually got 2 of those this last turn. Yep, 2 of those this last turn from the resolve. That's rough. That's rough. So if I put this troop down, he dies on that floor. So I need to protect my ground floor troops. So I'm going to put that down for the harvest so that way he gets stealth. It'll still do 5 damage to the front, but because both targets are being finished, I'll take a +1 HP to the Baron. And then we're going to get rid of the mutilation and everything else. We're going to finish the turn out. And then we're rolling into the next phase. We're going to have the other guys make it up to the top floor. They're going to do 10 by 3, so 13 damage to our Pyre. Now we have a good stealth run from our guys in the rear on the ground floor, so we're going to keep them protected through this next phase. We're going to have these guys move up to the second floor to our other Wickless Baron. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, so we're going to get an imp toss in from this one, which unfortunately is a really bad position because, again, of that stealth. But we've got all this we can spend. Now, if only we had that, like, bone sauce or bone juice or bone whatever. Twitch doesn't want to load anymore. See you later. Not a problem, Psycho. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you. Stay safe. Have a great work day, and we'll talk to you later. Much love to you, man. All right. Let's see here. So we've got another 13 damage moving up to the next floor. 2 of those resolve pieces, and likely even a shard. So we're out like 3 energy, but we do, I think, hold over. I think we hold over energy through rounds. Yeah, we conserve ember through rounds, so that's perfect. So we can fight through some of the self-mutilation nonsense. Alright, so I really need that skull card. Okay, so there's the skull card that I was looking for. We're going to do encasement on the top. That'll keep our guys stealthed. We're going to get rid of these cards here. We're going to drop this back down. Scroll back on down to the bottom. I'm going to put the burnout of the dreg on the front as a huge soak. It'll help us get rid of some of these front targets. We're going to go to the second floor and get rid of the larger target. Another 13 damage manages to make it up to the top floor, unfortunately. But we have a good clear on the second floor because only 20 damage is required to kill out the first target, and then 3 to kill out the target in the rear, with only 18 damage being applied to my Wickless Baron up in the front. He should survive through this. We have 3 turns left until the boss fight. If I can get one more skull, I can play that out on the guy down there at the bottom. We're going to go up to the top, get rid of the mutilation, call in for the blaze. We're going to do the chomper for the energy so that way we can conserve. I'm going to stick him back at the back. We have 13 energy again to fight through some of those instances. I'm going to put 2 of the implings out so that way we're getting the rally buff and dealing with that, as well as getting imp toss out to multiple those minions. So we've got our ground floor that's clear. We're giving ourselves a little breathing space. The second floor is going to cause us some problems as we're getting up to the top. But we've got a good stealth bonus coming out, so we're going to do some damage to the top targets, buff the Wickless Baron so he can persist through the second floor damage, which is an 8, 3, 10. So we're what, 20, 22, 21 damage coming out of second floor onto the top floor. So the Wickless Baron should be able to hold that. We're getting really good multi-strike out of the bottom floor along with the Shardtail Queen. We've got one more turn until the boss shows. We're going to throw out the Welder Helper. Get rid of the nonsense with self-mutilation. We're going to pop Consume. Molten Encasement for the stealth. Whole bottom floor is going to die anyways, which is a great position to be in as well. And I don't have a great way of making anything happen on the top floor. So we're probably going to take some damage here. The only other thing I can do is use everything that I've got from Bone Shine to fill up the 60 health, which will pretty much top off the pyre. So we're good there on that consume. We're back to square one. Should be 2 attacks that we're going to take out through this, or no, 1 attack through the top wave. So we're going to take 21 damage, but we're going to wipe the board there. We've got the board at the bottom definitely is also being wiped out. So we're square there. She's going to kill. We're getting the double strike on Wickless Baron with 100 HP and Shardtail Queen with a ton of damage. We're going to see if we can get a reform in. So 10 over 3, 1180 damage so far. So we know that we're going to get... Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to call in Pyre Chomper for the HP value, or sorry, for the energy value. So we've got enough energy to pull through these moves. We're going to get rid of Self-Mutilation and Vengeful Shard to make sure that that gets taken care of. Then we're going to pop up Welder Helper on the front target, so we're gaining an extra 40 armor, which puts us up to 2,220 damage. And this should be the boss kill, getting rid of not only the guy in the rear, but giving us the imp toss that we need to take out the boss in one fell swoop for a 3 boss rush, or for a 3 turn rush. just doing damage out here. And so that's Covenant rank 4. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching along here in the vault. I think I'm going to wrap up just the streaming portion. I might hang out in Discord just for a little bit before I go to bed. But I think I'm going to wrap up just hanging out in the stream side of things. And I appreciate everyone being here. But we're up to Covenant rank 5. Obviously, we got a couple gold cards out of it. So we'll take a peek here and see what we've unlocked. Hellhorn level 9. And the Transcendent. Melting Remnant. Extinguish abilities trigger an additional time. Great artifact in my opinion. It's got a couple gold cards. A couple gold cards out there. Perfect. Good. I like seeing it. We're going to head back to the main menu. 34,000 on that run. Not bad. Guys, again, I appreciate it. Let's go find someone beautiful out there that we can raid. We definitely want to take advantage of doing that as much as possible. I know we haven't had too much of a chance to, but we want to do everything that we can. Let's see here. Let's go to... Oh, hey, Pommel Party's back? That's cool. Balloons TD6? Someone's been talking about that. We had a couple people talking about it. And apparently, like, you can have your viewers get interactive or something like that. I don't know what that is. Oh, these look weird. This looks really weird. I don't know if I like this. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into Balloons TD6 and see if I'm going to be interested, but it looks a little off. I don't know if I want to get into that. Let's see. Here, you know what? We'll do ASMR. Oh my gosh, it's literally all female streamers at the top. What? The first 50 streamers in the ASMR category are all female. I'm just shocked that there's not any males in the category. Is there like a thing there that like people just don't want to hear guys' voices? Like it makes me wonder if people just don't want to hear guys' voices. Like if it's just like a thing. Like it's just not interesting. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. That's some news. There's some news there. I hear good things about Hades. Let's check that out. I actually have the game. I've yet to play it. Sounds like a good opportunity there. Let's check out... A lot of VTubers here, apparently, in the Hades category. Let's do... Deus Loopy. That sounds legit. All right, let's do this. We're going to go raid this guy. Let's just hang out. Just talk. Not do anything wild when we get there. Let's just like be like, hey, how you doing? How's your face? I love you. I thought that would be cool if we talked about how much you're awesome. Guys, again, thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the support. Smurf, thanks for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Everyone else, we'll see you bright and early on the normal stomping grounds. I love you. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Let's get it popping.